Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Sunday Night Hang, right here on Sundays, hanging on YouTube, part of the Googleverse, part of the Hyper Global Meganet. We all fear praise our overlords. Yes, please like, share, subscribe, comment, rant. I don't care at this point. Just support. That's what we just community. Support the community. That's what I'm saying. Be cool, support the scene and all that. Community hangout right here on the Sunday Night Hang. If you're looking for the podcast of the Sunday Night Hang, close your eyes. So joining me tonight, we have Terry's 3Gs because he's not LTE yet. We have Michael B, who's back. Oh, he's back, baby. And of course, Community Hang alum. It's not a Community Hang the last while without Symmetry hanging. He keeps things on the even keel. That's what I'm saying.
Hello again, my friend. Good
yes.
to see you all.
Yes. We've already got 21 people in here in the chat, so we're legal. That's awesome. We've got Janice Lala, My Knees Hurt, Keith H, Joe Hervey 84, Sandra's here. Awesome seeing Sandra in here. Cushman NYC, some guy named Terry's 3Gs who I've never heard of. Thomas Santiago made it though. Billy Baloney, JP Page 2, John Duchesne, the legend. Charles 75N, another legend. Hope you're doing okay, Charles. He's quarantining for obvious reasons. He and the family apparently a little something might have went through the little household. I don't know.
Oh, no.
He's in the chat, so he's alive. We know that. That's
good.
Ferd Burfel. We don't know if the rest of Charles' family is okay because they refuse to enter the chat. They refuse. They're like, that's his deal. Them. Guitar Man 45 knows what I'm talking about. Gary's here. GTR 1952. Who else we have? Joe Hervey. Tim Thomas. Good to see Tim in here. Early Risers. Martin Lemaire. Yep. It's going down the bottom. Marcy's here. Good to see Marcy. Tom Raines. Hello, Tom. Welcome. I think that's a new name in the chat. If not, you entered previously while I was under the influence based off lifestyle choices. Speaking of lifestyle choices, where are those lifestyle choices? There they are. All right. Jason Lincoln made it. I Rock Zed Blues. Craig T. Tomlinson. That's right.
Captain Ketchup.
Hey, Pops is here.
Hey, Quentin.
Ryan Hall. All right. So I don't know. What do we got? These are 15 apiece. Michael, you're the mathematician here, I guess. I don't know. So we got 4 of them at 15 apiece. I believe that's 60 milligrams.
That's 60.
So
at least it is in the U.S. I don't know about Canada.
Okay. Well, we'll just eat them all. That's fine.
Yeah, in America, that would probably be 7.5 or 6
With the conversion.
with the conversion.
Michael Krause is on vacation, so he probably won't be here too long. That's fine.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually nice to see some people now that things have settled down to, get away and do some vacationing stuff. Though I will say it still seems to be a little havoc going through airports and that still.
Doug Strong is here. iRock Zed Blue says, maybe I'll change my name to iRock Red Kramer. That's right. He picked up a Kramer Focus, much like I have.
Nice.
With the JB in it as well.
You got that at Sweetwater, right, Ben?
I did.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool trip.
It was
that we watched.
Deal.
Yeah, that was 2018. Yeah. 4 years ago this week.
Yeah. Feels like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dan.
What's up, Dan in New Jersey? I see someone else in here and I'm just going blind. Probably. Oh, yeah, that's what Guitar Man 45 says. He was told the 28th for the new arrival. Ooh. Which I don't know what it is, but it could be an Ultra Tele.
Ooh.
Or it could be something else. I don't know. But it could be.
Could be a Dan Electra.
Probably not. He has good taste.
It's the ultimate Dan Electro. Ben still
What?
wouldn't get
So it's worth $400?
Oh, is this one actually made with wood?
Michael Krause says, so 70s area Strat copy with two P90s and a trem. Have you ever seen one before?
Nope.
I have not. However, a couple weeks ago when I was over at the Evil Empire, a guy was picking up a new Les Paul, and as trade-in, he was looking to get rid of an Eldagus Strat. And I looked at that, and he's like, "Are you interested?" And I'm like, "I am, but I can't afford because I'm looking at 3 DiMarzio pickups still in it from the factory." Yeah. I was like, he was asking, I think, $300 for it.
Yeah, the pickups alone would be worth the 300.
All right. Well, there we go. There's a bunch of edibles. Keith H says, "Hey Ben, you liking the Super 8 strings, the Master 8 strings?" Yes. So far, so good. I'm gonna use them tomorrow night. Probably shoot a video of some form and try to do that. I have an idea of how to set up mics and such. Here's Brad Guitar Miller. Something has him distracted, so that's either a woman or a guitar.
No,
Or
game
both.
6.
Summertime. We're wearing Hawaiian shirts. It's not time for hockey.
I thought it ended.
It
hit
almost
89
ended. It
degrees
almost
with no
ended.
clouds yesterday.
It almost ended.
I actually watched some of the
2 days
games
ago.
last weekend.
97. Ooh,
Foreman here.
jeez.
For those of you
Hey,
in the-
Presley.
Yeah,
I-
Reno Fin
Four.
Customs.
Mark Taft and I were hanging out yesterday for the
Yeah.
afternoon. We filled up the tone cooler full of pops of various kinds, all on ice, and then we just played a bunch of cornhole, and we cleaned out the garage a little, and got a lot of sun, and then he stayed over for dinner too, which was awesome.
So is there more to
Go.
it than just throwing a beanbag in a hole at 20 yards?
No,
No, that's it.
that's it.
That's it.
Hey, Robot Master Switch.
I find though, if you have a play the sax between each game as well, that helps.
It's probably
Handicap.
more fun than throwing
Since I don't
darts
drink
at
anymore.
dartboards from my company. You know what
My
I
niece
miss? Is lawn
says-
darts. Remember lawn darts?
I do remember
I
lawn
do.
darts.
Those were great.
Loved lawn darts.
Yeah.
Until one gets lodged in you.
Well, if you don't need it, then I mean that's kind of part of natural selection. It's because we don't have lawn
Exactly.
darts anymore that. Oh, never mind. Don't get me started.
That was an absolute bummer when they got rid of those.
Yeah. Sean
actually
Hockey's
did.
here. Scott Brockway's here. And I saw
Doug Strong.
My Knees Hurt says, suggest me a new guitar. An Explorer.
I'm down with that.
Also,
It's on my
Mercy.
want list.
Hey, where's Hip Metal Works?
Jane's also had a question, actually.
Oh, okay. Robot Master Switch snuck in here too, apparently.
Yeah, he
Robot,
just
nerd
came
wedge.
in at the same time.
Oh, there he is. All right, I'm scrolling. Hang on. I see the question mark. There we go. Is there such a thing as a pickup that is fuzz? Not like an effect pedal, but fuzz directly from the pickup.
To
In
me,
theory, yes.
It depends.
Because if you have a super high output pickup, it's going to push hard enough to break up like fuzz.
yep. That or a faulty pickup would also do it too.
Beyond that, you can have onboard circuit. Guys used to have onboard circuits in the guitars.
The EMGs that I have in that Viper with the push-pull booster,
Right.
when you push the boost on that thing, it makes its very own special kind of dirt. Straight into the amp. And if you have a low battery, you get even more into the beach.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so my niece heard already put the kibosh on Explorer. He says SG maybe, Flying V maybe. Equally are uncomfortable to play. One while standing up, one while sitting down. Depends. If you play more standing up or sitting down. If you play sitting down all the time, get an SG. If you play standing up all the time, get a Flying V.
To me, I enjoy both the V and the SG.
Those sound like all neck dive computer guitars.
Surprisingly,
No.
These I played didn't neck dive.
The only
Because they actually know where to, I don't know, mount strap locks or buttons. That's it, strap buttons.
The only issue that occurs with flying V's is if the neck is weak, they bow really, really easy.
Oh. Every
Headstock
SG I've
dive?
ever picked up had a neck dive.
Really?
Yeah.
There's enough mass in a V's body to prevent it from doing neck
Well,
dive.
that's like I've had them sometimes try to neck dive while sitting, and if that's the case, you just wrap your leg around the lower horn.
Yeah.
You know, kind of weird because you're sitting in the classical position anyway. So, Jason Lindholm, thank you very much. Question with a super duper chat: what would a great unique pedal for any board for the great hang? Love the hang. It's all about the hang, Jason. You know that. A great unique pedal for any board. Rainbow Machine. No. Not a Rainbow Machine.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
A unique pedal. Let me think. I'm thinking boutique then, because they're not as common.
I mean, the question kind of leaves it open. Are we talking about unique in looks? Are we talking about unique in sound? Or are we talking both?
This.
Um,
Yes.
Isn't
It's out Tuesday.
isn't that the secret one? Yeah, that's a secret pedal.
Yeah. Actually, no, I can show it because he's been showing pictures on the internet.
Okay.
So, this comes
Just
out
can't play
Tuesday. He hasn't been mentioning the description. I love the fact that for those who've never purchased one of Lawrence's pedals, one of the unique things about purchasing Lawrence's pedal is it comes in a box. Like you've seen the unboxings, maybe on the channel. It's in a tone sock. There's a business card. There's picks. There's feet. What's never included is an instruction guide of any kind. Not even a single piece of paper saying, "Hey, have fun, enjoy these." Nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
So that said, most times you figure it out, like level, tone, and drive.
Yeah.
I don't need a manual for that, really, because there's a switch on here that isn't labeled. So if you're not going to label the switch, maybe have a manual.
Or just flick it and see what happens.
Well, I know what it does because, fortunately I texted the fella. But
And you have one in your hand.
yeah, I have one, and I did it. So it, in typical Lawrence, like a lot of pedal, like it's supposed to add gain, but it doesn't just add gain. He has to reset the EQ based off more gain, so it doesn't sound like shit by just adding more gain. So it adds gain, resets in it, and I can't tell you it's kind of a blues breaker in a box. I can't say that.
So it's kind of like smart gain.
I can't say that this is a blues breaker in a box. Can't say that. Can't say it. Only just briefly came off my board because there's an LPD 55 on there.
That
Michael
pedal
Kress
sounds really nice.
Makes a
Yeah.
good suggestion. B-tronics would be pretty unique.
Yeah. I gotta look at them. So it's a Chase Bliss too. That's like get a mood. But I don't know if it will work for anything, and that's the thing. Although, you know what? I'm going to go back with my original statement, Terry. Rainbow Machine. Because you can use it as a chorus pedal, you can use it as a delay pedal, and then you can use it as a weird pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, actually, for the pure humor fact of it, would be that poop-shaped fuzz.
There you go. Doug Strong says, turn the knobs. What do you say? Turn the knobs and see what happens. I live my life a quarter turn at a time. John Duchesne says, so it's switch the clipping diode, Ben? Maybe. Maybe, if that's a thing. I don't know. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe he'll tell me.
There, Michael Kress knows it. The Dr. No Poop Fuzz.
There you go. I see he says, I'm especially interested in which toggle position on that I liked. I don't remember. I liked them both. Yeah. All right. Switch changes gain modes down a stock, basically, but still lots of LPD tweaks. blues breaker with my diode recipe. Up is higher gain, different EQ, and diode recipe. So different diodes recipes. I don't know. Silicon chips, space age polymers, tone. What's up, Down and Back Corn Dog? No, wait. The Down and Back Cornhole Podcast. That's right. Rebranded, same fun.
Not exactly an answer to that question.
Is not required to be open now,
pedal,
I see.
Oh, sorry, Jared. I was going to say, if I was going to try to find a unique pedal, I'd probably go to JHS, YouTube, and kind of look at like a new and notable, or look at the titles on the cards, because he finds some really, really cool stuff.
And he may have done it like a pedal that works in every genre.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there can be those pedals, like if you get a wide range, let's just say on the amount of gain, you turn it down, that's your country, bluesy, more, it's rock, and then it goes all the way into metal saturation, which it's hard to find a pedal that does that. Looking at you, LPD 87 that does, but anywho's, it's rare. So, excuse me.
Plus, he has a knack to make any pedal, no matter where it's from, what it does, sound good. Like he just can.
Yeah, it's weird. Like even
he finds what he likes about it, and he brings something out of it.
Yeah, Lawrence can build a pedal that I don't like, and I'm like, damn, I like that though.
Yeah,
like his Soleil Fuzz. Why I don't like fuzz faces. Not that one though. Boomer's here, but silently. Silent boom. Sure. Fruitcake Tony made it. Speaking of Fruitcake Tony, if you haven't checked out the Fruitcake Tony channel already, where Fruitcake Tony features on the Fruitcake Tony YouTube channel, you should. He does Show Me Your Pick every Saturday and Halenville every Wednesday. And this coming Saturday, Show Me Your Pick, he's doing a Canada Day special / 4th of July special, because it's right in the middle. And my sister and I are both invading that channel, and it's going to be all Canadian bands. So,
nice.
Including, and to remind Tony while he's watching, my sister and I will be going head-to-head for trivia on Canadian music. So
that's fantastic.
Geez.
Oh, I can't miss that. That's awesome.
That's going to be, because that's going to be yelling. That's going to be yelling. She'll just.
It's always a great show, but that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
that's great. I'm going to put a reminder for that right now.
And then next Sunday, my sister is taking over the show for her birthday show, because it's her show. Because her birthday's on Tuesday, I think. Next Tuesday, I think. Isn't Snow from Canada? Yes, unfortunately. Pickering.
She's 34, right?
Yeah.
Even though he's an informer, which should make
from the mean streets of Pickering. It's not just BMWs, it's Volkswagens and Volvos, too. Yeah. Hey, Hit Metalworks.
Scott Brockway mentions moose are from Canada, and all I'm thinking about is
I'd like to do
bacon.
Moose would be a hard name to use for a band, but if you were just called Moose, you'd have to play like Caius type shit and wear a lot of plaid. You wear a lot of flannel, but you play desert rock, basically.
That's funny.
Like who are they? Moose. Yep, they are. It's just and I have a signature fuzz that's essentially a big muff, but it'll be called the Big Moose.
I always think of the guy from Porky's, right?
Yep.
Porky's 2.
Moose.
Moose Knuckle.
No, that would be your classic rock party band, Moose Knuckle. But it's all Canadian classic rock, right? Covered.
Take off.
You take off, eh?
Take off, eh?
Like I said, makes me think of Canadian bacon, John Candy. Oh, would you like some more of our chocolate mousse dessert?
So many amazing things from Canada. He's one of them.
Yep. That's true. Lawrence Cash says it is 420 in Alaska. Well, you know what? I can help celebrate that.
Been eating a lot of cheese.
Well, that'll.
Not only
you can even that out with a bran muffin nicely. You know what I'm saying?
No, I just said John Candy.
Life's all about balance.
Movie quote. feel like a big mouse, all bound up.
Nice cheesy bran muffin to contradict each other.
How are you feeling? Well, I'm full. Okay. Tony has picks from 26 different Canadian bands.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, if anybody
I
would,
don't
it would
have
be
picks from
Tony,
26
right?
Canadian bands. The only way I would have picks from 26 Canadian bands is if 26 Canadian bands took pity on me and had me in them. It'd still be all my picks, but it'd be from 26 Canadian bands.
Wow.
Scott Brockway has a DD2. Nice. Industry standard for country. They like the DD2s for some reason. I'm like,
what's a
was
DD2? What's a DD2, Ben?
I assume it's Boss's older version of the DD3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Except
say.
the Boss pedal, okay.
Yeah. Brad Paisley uses one. I know that.
DD2. Oh, isn't that part of the Star Wars franchise?
Well, I thought it was
The
funny
droids.
because I'm watching an interview with Brad Paisley, and he was talking gear. And he's like, well, I don't really use pedals. Like, other than I'll use, maybe a DD2 and a CS2. I was like, oh, yeah, 2 made in Japan Boss pedals that cost an arm and a leg. But he doesn't realize that there's been so many iterations beforehand, but that's been the industry standard for decades. What's up, Eric?
Boss choruses aren't expensive. Is it like
No,
that,
surprisingly.
No, yeah, because I've always.
But the good one is, because really, it's a CE1 or 2 are the good ones.
It just, you know what it sounds like. You get used to it. I can't not use it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I feel
That's what
funny with
I
different
kind of
choruses.
dig. What am I using there? That chrome fucking thing. I don't know what it is. No, it's not area. Something. I got another pedal by them over here, so I can read the name.
Akai Chrome, the Chrome Akai chorus you got.
That's it. Yeah, I like it because first of all, most chorus pedals ramp up their rate way too fast. Nobody uses it. Nobody turns a chorus pedal past like 10, 11 o'clock for rate. And if you do, you're weird. Stop it.
Or just
Right?
use
You want-
Univibe already.
And so, exactly. And so
You want
when
a
I
Univibe,
found
get that.
what I found I really liked with that chorus was it's got a slow and a fast setting, and the fast setting is basically the slow setting on most of them. So the slow is really slow. So I have it so it's barely moving. And I really dig that. Cousin Doug texting in, Michael B looks like a thinner Bret Hart.
Does he have a catchphrase?
Best
You got-
there
what,
is, best there was,
and the best there ever will be.
The best there was! The best there ever will be! How about that?
No, if anything, Michael reminds me of Stevie Richards of ECW fame.
What's that?
Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Formerly known as Eastern Championship Wrestling.
Sometimes I get
They got
served
extreme!
from System of a Down. Sometimes some people in the chat say that, but like, I don't see it today. But at the time, I guess it did. But,
Hey, Zach Thong.
hey, Zach, what's up, brother?
Sure, Zach.
Oh,
Zach
that's
is
words I
up
don't
there.
understand necessarily, but I'm going to read it out. Doug Strong says, oh my god, I think he's been hanging out with Doc from fucking Back to the Future. I'm waiting on my polarity inverter, sure, for my Zuma to show up so I can try out this mod factor I have had for almost 2 weeks. I know those are English words, but I don't know. What the, huh? Well, like you're waiting on the flux compacts? I don't know.
It could be for the power supply, like it's
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. Oh, that reminds me, I'm waiting on
center negative, or it's
the
not
fuck was
center
that?
negative, and he has center positive or something.
Who the fuck
Could
did
be
we
something
order
like
that? I don't see Mark. If Mark Taft shows up, he'll remember. I went over Long and Quaid, I ordered the adapter so I could plug in another DoD pedal on the pedal board. You know, the little fucking everything in the world to adapt to DoD. You know, I need that adapter. And he's, oh yeah, it'll just be a couple of days. Fucking typical. A week later. Not a fucking thing. When I deal
So I
with my
said-
guy Travis there, Terry. Okay. And for you Canadians, do your geography on this one. Interstore transfer, I had to order a bridge for Absolute Mayhem's guitar in Belleville, Ontario, 100 plus miles east of Toronto, Ontario. All right. Ordered the bridge from the Edmonton store, Trev, here in 23 hours. Why? Because I had someone with a brain order it. Of course,
They put it
he
on a
calls me
airplane.
up. He calls me up. He says, I'm wrapping up my shift, but just let you know it came in. I get over there. He's gone. They can't find it. I had to wait till his next day working to find it because he's like, oh, he started a 3-day weekend. I'm like, well, I guess I don't find it for 3 days because you guys are morons. He's like, what part of putting it on the shelf marked arrivals could they not figure out? I was like, your coworkers, dude. I am so happy I don't work here because I would probably go off on somebody.
Oh, there's Zach showing up there in the chat. My knees hurt actually asked something which I'm not even sure of. Dred Zeppelin, Canadian or not?
They ring a bell. I've heard of them.
Yeah, they did
don't-
like
didn't think they were Canadian.
Jamaican-styled Zeppelin music.
Yeah, I don't.
I didn't
know.
think it was Canada.
I figured
Yeah,
they
I
were
think
from.
they're-
If they're not, they're from the Northeast. I would think because we get a lot of
Yeah.
Northeast bands that would travel through.
I don't think they're a Canadian group. I think they're an American group.
Then again, I don't recall them playing around here in like 20 years. It seems,
Well, yeah.
or they could have played through here last week. I don't know. Michael Crow says Dred Zeppelin were amazing, so I assume he's seen them.
Yeah, they're
The
a
Wikipedia
very
page,
talented,
Zeppelin.
unique group.
Dred Zeppelin is an American reggae rock band formed in 1989 in Sierra Madre, California. The band combines hard rock, reggae styles.
Nowhere near here.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
totally sounds right.
Well, there we are.
There you go. Let's see what it's done lately here. This is all in the 80s, 2000s, present. Like one thing. Yeah.
Oh, I should mention, I think I teased it on the Zoom call because I tell people on the Zoom call stuff that isn't public. Because why? It's not a public call. It's a private hang. But we're waiting for I don't know if he's a well-known, but the acts he's played with are well-known. Canadian musician to get off tour, and he's hopefully going to be appearing on here in the next few weeks. Terry knows who I'm talking about. He's like, oh, right, yeah.
As soon as you mentioned famous and Blair, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, son of a Canadian Music Hall of Famer as well.
Can't
So
remember
second
the
generation.
name, so that's good because I can't say it or leak it then.
Yeah, I can't say he's currently on tour overseas with Crash Test Dummies, so that's all I'm going to say. So, because I don't want to jinx it.
John Tishy. Well, some of us wear bicycle pants.
Billy Baloney. Has anyone seen Mac Sabbath or McDonald's themed Sabbath tribute? Yes, and in fact, I mentioned it before, Billy. There is an episode of Jack and Ozzy where Jack takes Ozzy to a secret location and says, Dad, you gotta see this group. I don't fucking want to see some fucking group I don't fucking know. And he's having a fit. And he comes in and he goes, Jack's like, sit down, Dad, and enjoy the show. And then all of a sudden he starts hearing the music and Ozzy's like, what the heck? And all of a sudden the things open and there's Mac Sabbath and they start doing it. And he's just like, what the fuck is this? Trying to figure it out, and then eventually he clues in and he's like, yeah! He was so impressed with that group.
Hey, there's a name I haven't seen in a minute. Craven Soda. What's up, brother?
Yeah, what's up, Soda?
Lawrence asked if anyone's played a Qtron before. Yep. They're fun.
I've seen them, but never
No.
played one.
Envelope filter. Bunch of
Yeah.
harmonic. Yeah, Richie had one for a while. Dale Boyle Music made it. Good to see you.
Hey.
Krenar, you're awake. What's up, buddy? The Albanian assassin himself. Can I say that? Just did.
Oh, there you go. Scott Brockway says he mods the mini ones to add a volume control.
The mini whats? Qtrons, I assume?
Qtrons, yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think, Rich just had, I think he had a small one, like the Nano series, the modern one. He didn't have the old school big footprint one. That's going to be on the list once, we start getting the good money rolling in, where you just want to splurge. I'm going to build an all electro harmonics pedal board just of the big layout version. So it'll be this monstrous board, but it's only got 6 pedals on it. That'll be awesome. That's one of the dream boards.
Scott
Although
Brockway says,
there's going to be a yard sale in a couple of weeks. Charles is aware, and I think Terry became aware last night during Steve's show. So I'm going to say between the good people of this community, Terry, as well as my own personal addiction issues, and the good people of the community, we'll also call them enablers. I'm looking at people like you, Terry, and Michael B. in particular, because a fella was straightening things up and moving pedals around. Yeah, I said the P word. So I think Terry remembers the number, and I know Charles knows, but we're not. You want to take a guess how many pedals we found around here? Chat. Take a guess, and I will say you don't see them all, so yeah. But
A complete head count of all of your pedals?
yeah, as far as we could tell, there might be another 1 or 2 hiding in places I'm not aware of, but
I'm going to go with 83.
Ooh.
now I will
Price
say
is Right
personally,
rules.
I was thinking to myself personally. Now again, lifestyle choices. I was thinking 70, 75 because I recall getting rid of a few months ago. I thought. Okay, so we're seeing numbers of 70. See, 4. No, Marcy. No.
I have 4.
88.
100, 38, 60, 69, 112, 23. Gear Junkie just hit 235, and now I'm feeling a lot better about myself. 97. Craven Soda asks, anyone try Reverend guitars? Yes, several. I've never played a bad one. Scott has
No.
They look really cool.
And I will say, Keith H. with the correct answer. The correct answer is, in fact, 112.
wow. 112.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
My response to Ben over Facebook was basically, are you now a subsidiary of Flipside Music yet, or what?
Yeah. Honorary annex, right? The honorary pedal annex.
Exactly. Yeah, I know I've gotten 1 or 2 from you, and I
Buzz?
know I've sent you a few in turn.
Yeah, I
You
think I still
qualify
have
some kind of
3
museum
mod
status.
pedals here, and I don't know if I got them all from you or because you know me. As soon as I have one from a company, as soon as I have 2, now it's a collection. So,
Yeah.
I've sent both of you guys at the top pedals.
Yep. Yeah, you sent me the looper back there. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, like I said, you sell it or use it, whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah, I got the Vox.
I don't know if I've actually
sitting
plugged it in yet, Michael B. And that's been a year and a half. But it's been sitting right there on display as part of the collection. Because,
I
that
switch
was
back
the
and
thing. You
forth
can always
between
find
the
Boss
two.
pedals around. So you end up with a Boss pedal collection.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, where'd my Boss delay go? And then the fella in the chat goes, you sold it to me? And I'm like, that's where it went.
No, I think you were trying to get some stuff for future demos. You're like, send anything. All right.
Yep.
Buzz Wilder, 80 or so to get rid of.
Well, that's the thing. There's a shelf with 30 on there that I have no use for. So there's 30 sitting there, including a lot of the cheaper Amazon pedals. And not to say that there's a bunch back here that also, once I revamp the display.
At what point do you reach museum status where you can get some kickbacks for tax
Unfortunately, in Canada, you can only claim the taxes you paid. You can't claim the whole amount, like in the U.S., which I
But if
wish.
you were in a museum, you wouldn't be able to.
You can only because I was incorporated
have
for
a
my
lower
music production
delay
business.
anyway.
Billy Baloney bought my delay pedal actually.
But Terry, I ended up buying another one.
Oh,
Well, no,
nice.
that was the problem was because
Which
I'm
one?
on the phone with a
This
buddy,
one.
Oh,
and I'm like, I have this many, Michael, and then I'm looking around, I'm like, oh wait, there's my wall hiding behind the guitars over there. I'm like, add another one, and I'll find another one around here. Yeah. The only thing I didn't count was the amp switcher pedals because I don't consider lower, channel switcher pedals because they're with the amp. They're not an effect. Although I think I counted my AB/AB wide pedals because they actually perform a function.
Mercy Janes again says, if anyone has an old Series A P bass in the back of their garage gathering dust, I'll take it off your hands.
Oh, so would anybody.
Very first bass.
Okay. Series A. I haven't heard that name in ages, but if I ever see one, there we go. Buzz Wilder says, I bet all of us have a crybaby. Or have had. Either have or have had. Or will have. Everybody has one at some point in the journey.
Mine's on the board in place of the Vox that I got from Michael.
And would we say, the standard, was it the GCD 95 or whatever the fuck the standard crybaby is? I think I pulled that out of my ass, but I think that might be what it is.
No, you're right.
The standard crybaby, do they represent 90% of wah sales? Like, they pretty much have the market cornered. Because then you figure out all the variants of the Dunlop wah, which, again, eats another bit of the market. And then you have the rest.
Vox, Buddha.
And the Vox wah is the same thing. It's the same thing. I don't care if people say they're different.
But it says Vox on it, though.
Yeah. And it's chrome. It's got the chrome ring. I can hear the difference in the tone with that chrome ring on the pedal, honest.
No, absolutely. It's a tone ring.
Yeah. Anybody watch the wah documentary? It's on YouTube here. They tell you flat out it's the same thing. Like, they would literally put the same circuit in two different housings.
Yeah.
Johnny Love. Johnny Love says, my first pedal in 1991 was Crybaby because of Hendrix. There we go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of old pedals where they're sold.
There's a lot of Morleys as well, but compared to that Crybaby, like that, there's no comparison.
I remember the snarling dogs because of it actually having like the big Bigfoot foot for the.
Is that one is like it looks like a 70s van.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of those gas pedal covers in the shape of a foot because I had to buy it. I saw it at an auto flea market. I'm like, I don't care. That's a piece of nostalgia.
And then I think they had one of them that actually it had the snarling dog logo on the top of the foot, and the two eyes actually turned on and turned red when you turned the wah on, which is kind of a cool kind of gimmick to them.
Guitar Man asks, does anyone have a talk box wah pedal? No. On my list. Was it MXR makes one I want to try out. It seems pretty decent.
As opposed
to the actual
locally on my Kijiji, there's actually a Dunlop.
Terry, you want to use TalkBox though?
Well, it doesn't come with the tube. Legal laws prevent people from selling it with the tube.
Hey,
that's the only pain in the ass.
I do want a TalkBox. I don't know. I couldn't really use it. Like, what am I going to go? Like lean over to the mic here, to use it.
Or how about
we built one once, Richie and I, and we took one of those little battery-powered Marshalls, and we just used half a roll of duct tape and duct taped a funnel over the speaker.
Yeah.
And then just put a surgical tube onto that. It worked.
Billy Baloney, COVID box, if you ask me. Well, that's true.
Well, how about a theremin? Kind of a weird.
I do not
extra
want a theremin.
things.
Mark Taft wants a theremin. I was like, so, no, I'm good.
The guy in my band has one. He does it pretty good.
Nice.
Actually, comes out the way it's supposed to.
I'll admit that cryotone effect in that Zoom MG50 is pretty good for a talk box effect. Otherwise, the only way you can get one is probably like the Dunlop, one of the old Dunlop multi-effects pedals. Get an okay talk box sound.
Nice. Buzz Wilder has a Rocktron Banshee. Lucky bastard.
Ooh.
It's my latest little guilty pleasure is Rocktron pedals. Dale Boyle asks, any suggestions for a Univibe type pedal?
Mm.
Ooh. I'll
Well-
tell you right now.
Well, since somebody keeps delaying the release of his, so I can't pronounce that for a year, probably. So if you don't want to check back with me in a year, so your mass market, like the MXR one is decent, right? But I think JHS makes a cool one.
I would say one that's actually kind of crept
Good,
up.
yes,
Someone
Scott
knows that
Brockway.
one.
Scott Brockway called it. Thank you. He's like,
Yes.
he's filling in for Ben Tom nicely. Sabatius is
Sabatius
amazing.
is a big one.
That's an amazing one. They're out of Argentina, but now the U.S., I think. He may have relocated.
I'm not sure.
But they were Argentinian. But he's like the Lawrence of Argentina, it seems. He puts together some really cool stuff.
So
If you want it in a wah factor,
Yeah, see
The,
that one. Yeah, that one. That's an industry standard in many ways.
that's the best one.
the Roto Vibe is also a very cool one.
Different, though.
Yes.
I mean, if you get the real Rotovibe, it's got to be the big red housing, be noisy as fuck, suck all your tone, but that's okay because it does that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Which I will.
Univibe, but that's definitely the best one.
Boner Jams.
Ooh,
with the
Captain
super
Handsome
chat.
himself.
But also the Dutch pedal. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't get it anymore.
Oh, God, Boner Jams.
Oh. I will. Okay, so Boner Jam says this could be the
Boner
60th
Jam- Boner Jam definitely has it in
I
him,
watched
he
2
does.
weeks ago on. Thank you, brother. I do appreciate it. Yes, and the one Michael was showing is based off the OG.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you have the two buttons. I do like that, because
Yeah.
not that I really switched between the two, but if this was full time on the board and I was playing a variety of music, I'd want that as a second pedal switch to switch the channels. Because you
Yeah.
probably noticed a lot of pedal companies, when you flip that switch, you got to readjust stuff to also make it sound good. But this, you can flip the switch. It's a difference, and it's not
Yeah.
just a gain difference.
Yep.
It's a different difference, but it's still good, and you don't have to move your treble or your bass at all.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
It's a nice A/B between the two.
Yeah, I'll never get rid of this pedal. Definitely.
No.
I use it for bass
Welcome
and
back,
guitar.
And let me guess, Michael, it didn't come with an instruction manual, did it?
It didn't. It had the tone sock, but no instruction.
But it did have a tone sock.
If you're
Yeah.
looking for a Univibe on the cheap, I would say that Moen Shaky Jimmy that I got is also
You might as well-
acceptable for $40.
Sounds like we're going through themes here. Like, let's go to compressor pedal. Here's the one I recommend.
I have the same one.
This
I don't
Keeley
have
is
any.
an amazing
So,
compressor pedal.
did have an Arian though.
I did
back
pick
in
up
the
a
day.
new, a new to me one, Michael, last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, I'll be honest, I haven't even plugged in yet.
I just love the way the Keeley sounds. Ooh.
Yep.
Nice.
So these are going all day on Reverb for $135 Canadian plus shipping.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Long McQuaid had it priced for $35.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? I still offered them less. So they took $32.50 because they paid $30 for it, and they're like, "Yeah, we overpaid for it." I'm thinking, "No, you didn't. No, you didn't." But
Symmetry-
you keep on thinking
sorry.
that whoever your buyers are, yes, you're overpaying on everything, so everything should be cheaper. Yes. Well, it's like
Symmetry,
that.
do you have a compressor pedal of choice? No. Push
No.
plug straight in?
I got 4 pedals. One's the Strobo Stomp.
Mm-hmm.
The other one's the SD one. The
Okay.
other one's an S2.
Yep.
And then a DD20 in the loop.
Cool.
Okay, now I understand how I have
Yep.
so many pedals because I was just saying. And then
Yeah,
2
that's
weeks
cool.
before that, I bought the Rocktron that they had priced for $80 that I got for $48 because it was Customer Appreciation Day.
And my favorite distortion, for another topic,
Nice.
that's my favorite distortion by far.
Which I have one on my board, but it's the modded. It's not called that anymore. Where's the new faceplate?
I prefer the overdrive, but
He
when I wanna
sent
go
me
distortion,
faceplates.
it's that one.
Like seriously, how do you lose the faceplates that finally arrived?
I was going to say the vermin.
No, it's not. It's not called the Vermin anymore.
Oh, I know.
Well, no.
That's what
Yeah.
it used to be called.
Yeah, I can't show you this faceplate. I can't. But apparently, I lost the faceplates with the bubble wrap. Which, if you watch the unboxing for channel members and patrons, the weird thing about the faceplates were Terry is he sent me 2 for one pedal, okay, and they were double-sided printed. So really, I have 4 faceplates for one pedal.
What's on the other side?
Well,
That
this
would
one.
be-
Nothing. Oh no, actually, this one does say copyright 2021 LPD Pedals. But yeah, the one for the 109 distortion.
Yeah.
I would have thought one side was not as finished as the other one.
You would think. I don't know. I guess, and he didn't tell me how to it. Do you glue it on? Do you just undo the screws on the knobs and just
I
and
think
then
it just
screw back?
sits there.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what I
it
was
just sits
thinking.
on there.
Yeah, How did I lose those? What's that over there? Nope, that's something else entirely. That's the pedal.
I think that'd be a cool idea for Lawrence to do if he actually offered like a faceplate that you could actually have 2 options of what
Yeah.
you wanted.
Like get it in red, get it in green, or flip it around,
Yeah,
Change
like
it- on your
you could
move,
have it
change.
like the stock default black with
Or the
white
or in
text,
reverse,
or
white with white background with
white
black
with
text.
black text, or some type of unique, limited edition design.
Perhaps
One-
is Arizona colors.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And sure enough, he's not.
That's what I was
around
thinking, Keith,
unless
in the
he's
box.
hiding.
Not so much. Oh yeah, though I did get that new one decal. He only put decals and case candy in the one. I got socks in both, but the new,
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, that one. So that goes up there.
Terry,
I'll throw
what's your
some loads
favorite
on the old
distortion?
phone cooler.
Terry, what would your favorite distortion be?
I really don't have a favorite.
No? Well, how about like just like Fuzz or Rat or
It's pretty much Fuzz. I like variations of Fuzz. I wouldn't mind getting a Rat.
They're noisy.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind, Terry. I may have another rat clone around here.
Fuzz. Like I was just
Fuzz?
when you said Fuzz, Terry, to mind came like that Smashing Pumpkins octave stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was pretty fuzzy,
Yeah, that's a cool sound.
right? That
Yeah, that's actually my
Big Muff.
Big Muff Pi O amp
Mm.
that I'd gotten recently.
Yeah.
That's what was used a lot on the Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream album and a few other albums.
Cool.
I prefer to leave the faceplate off my pedals, just so it looks like that douche canoe pedal on the pedal board that when you watch the rig run down there, like, oh, it's a thing. I had my guy build me. It does a thing. I don't really know what it does, but I had a guy build it for me.
masking tape to mark your spot.
Oh yeah. Well, even better symmetry is what I don't know what it ended up being called. The luster. Again, I have faceplates multiple for that one. but it's like a Vox AC30 in a box. That one is just plain metal casing with gold knobs. Like there's not even any paint on the pedal. And I was like, I will never change that. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
And since he does the same layout for all of his pedals, you just remember this on the left, this on the right. Or if you forget, you turn one all the way down because everything's always so active. You're like, oh, there goes all my bass. That must be the bass control. Ooh. Guitar Man 45 has the Bogner Lagrange coming in this week. Dang.
That's based on Bill Gibbons.
You think? With a name like Lagrange in the name. They're not being subtle.
That's the inherent problem, though, is, he's actually came out with a few pedals.
Yeah,
he
has some
the ultimate Billy Gibbons signature amp would be like, first channel is the old stuff, playing with the pearly gates, that classic tone. Second one, give your Eliminator era type tone. And then, boom, is more modern tone with the Magnavox, Fuzz, blah, blah, blah. You do the 3 channels and you call it the Tres Hombres. There you go.
I think it exists, Ben.
Well.
Rockman second channel.
Sasquatch kind of exists, or like you could go buy.
No, I think he recently did an update to one of his signature pedals, and it has a couple generations of his sound in it, if not 2, maybe 3.
To look into that. I can get a nice Bill Walsh tone with that LPD 55. I'll tell you that much.
The guy was
a lot of Funk 49, and Life's Been Good.
The guy was in a band with knows him because his daughter married Billy's business manager. So when he comes
the
up here,
Lagrange is the pedal.
He sees him.
I thought that was an amp, but maybe they're in pedals. Because
he does have a
Bogner pedal sounds good. I'm like, I didn't know Bogner did pedals, but apparently I now know Bogner did pedals.
I remember some time ago somebody in the side chat actually asked about the MXR version of the Billy Gibbons pedal that just came out, and they were looking at getting it.
Yeah,
I think they did get it.
I don't know that one.
He does have a signature.
Look at me,
but it's
the whole show I'm going to be, where the hell are those faceplates?
It's what he uses now. It's not the classic sound recreation. His signature amp. It's a boutique company. I can't remember the name.
Oh, that's right. It's the MXR
Bill
Billy
Walsh. Thank you,
Gibbons
Bill Walsh.
Octavio.
Thanks, Bill Walsh.
MXR Billy Gibbons Cifse Santos Octavio Fuzz, and it's got like a 7-band EQ on it.
Because you need that.
Yeah, exactly. Fuzz with 7 bands of EQ.
I don't know. One of the most useful pedals is an EQ pedal.
Not over there.
Mind you, though, Fuzz
EQ
does sound pretty cool.
Itself. A 10-band
like its own
in the loop or something, right?
Yeah.
How long did that EQ last on my pedal board? 10 minutes. Because I forgot about the acoustic sim. I had to have the acoustic sim pedal on my pedal board. That's just all kinds of fun. I highly recommend everybody get one of those.
Which one?
Just any little acoustic simulator.
Oh, okay.
That one, who makes it? Here, I'll grab it.
And even I'm playing an acoustic song, I like to put a bit of gain on it. It's my way. I was trying to do some that Burning Love the other day.
Say, Tom something or other? I don't know. AC Stage.
That's cool.
Yeah, I can't read that. There you go.
That looks cool. That's good detail to work.
Yeah, like don't put a super small logo with a font all mashed together. Like expect a middle-aged guy to buy it. Like we either are wearing glasses or need glasses.
Exactly.
Yeah. Still playing around with it, but I dig it.
Yeah,
and it can be that, that completely pressed. Well, you've heard it on the live stream. It sounds like a shitty Takamine from the 80s, which, what the fuck? That's what you'd use on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, I have a Taylor with it. Fuck off with your Taylor with. Taylors sound okay through a PA system because all acoustics sound okay through a PA system. Taylors don't sound that great unplugged. Sorry.
Really?
I don't. I'm not. Well,
Well,
Okay, there was the one. There was the one, Michael B.
Okay.
I played it. I liked it. I was told I could get it on sale for 7,000 Canadian.
Well,
Great.
there you
Well,
go.
it was all Koa.
Haas.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I didn't
Haas
realize
is
it was
in
a
the
Koa top, sides, and back. Full-on Koa Taylor, and this thing sounded nice.
So you
And
have expensive taste, is what you're saying.
apparently, I just dug it. I thought it looked cool. I'm like, if this thing sounds half as good as it looks,
Yeah.
you know. And my girlfriend at the time is like, don't pick that up. Don't. And then the funny part is then I handed it to Mark Taft, and then he had about a heart attack after I told him what it cost. Because he's like,
Yeah.
well, he had just started playing, so he's like, don't hand me anything more than a few $100, just in case, you know. So I'm like,
Yeah.
immediately like, fuck, $10,000 guitar. Here, check this out. 'Cause,
Ruined.
yeah,
The Haas is in the
not
side
my
chat
guitar.
and has a comment.
We have the Haas.
Simon
There's
Rush.
Haas,
The Haas.
the legend himself.
And hello,
All right, hey, there you are. I used an old Rat for years for my main solo sound.
Yeah.
I did a big distortion pedal shootout with all my trusty go-tos, and the LPD 86 smoked them all. 87.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Yep. Oh, well, that's the thing, because like the green channel, less gain, you could
Yeah.
all the way to the red channel. That's why I got the deluxe, because I was like, wow, these are both great channels. Like, this would be two good standalone distortion pedals. So that I'll bite the bullet, get the deluxe, so I can have, because I do have those EQ'd different, because you can. The only they share a presence control, which I thought that's odd to share with that one part of the EQ. And then I had who was it, JP Page 2 on, and he went, presence isn't part of the EQ, Ben, it's part of the back end. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All
My
I know
amp-
is when I fuck with it, I hear more or less mids. So,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, that's EQ to me. You know, if you're messing
amp
with my
shares a
tone,
presence as well,
it's
both
EQ.
channels.
You know, knobs do one of two things to me: volume or tone.
Or EQ.
It-
No, it's EQ,
Yeah.
EQ or volume.
one or the other. It's either going to affect my volume or my tone, and gain also affects your volume. So it's / saturation, we'll say.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
presence is
Volume,
at 50%.
saturation, and tone. That's it.
What's that, Symmetry?
My presence is at 50%.
Mm.
Halfway.
Yeah, no, my amp is shared on the two channels as well. But it could be a budget thing. But
I dialed mine back. It's now at about the 11 o'clock position. It used to be at the 2 o'clock position.
Hmm.
I used a lot of presence back in the day. Hey, George.
It changes.
It
depending on
really
what guitar I
depends on
play,
the
you know?
application, and that's why I'd like to get a nice flipping amp that where I already agree on the tone, and then try all my pedals again that way, as opposed to relying on them to create the tone. Then you're using them to just color existing. And because I like the Klon thing, I like the Timmy thing, I like a lot of things. So
That's
especially
part
with
of
Lawrence
the fun of having
Damson
a Lego
box.
set, though, right? Is you get to pull out the Lego set and make different things. It's summertime now, so we're playing the Battle Axe. I don't
Mm.
want the Precious out here when it's 34, mid-90s out here in the freaking shop.
No,
So we're dialing in a different
Thank
tone
you.
for
Yeah.
old Invader pickups,
Hey,
right?
Mikey Newman.
Versus the EMGs, which I was playing for the last few weeks, and then of course there's the Epiphone Prophecy.
Yeah.
With Fishmans, and the Fishmans are just delicious. I pretty much put it in their burst bucker mode. Sometimes I'll pull out to the modern humbucker, and if I pull out to the overwound single coil, I'll still pick up the fluorescent light. Even though it's a Fishman.
Even on the Fishman.
Emulating the single coil, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny. We'll emulate the noise too.
yeah. Don't worry, we got you covered, folks, with your single coil and your 60 cycle hum. That'll be the hot new craze. New, a double coil pickup, but we still added in that lovely noise and
Extra
love.
background tone.
We specifically clip certain windings throughout the pickup to achieve its unique tone.
Now includes white noise.
It's noise print.
Yeah.
It's a custom noise print.
Use one of those nice rotary switches you had back in the day, so you can go through a noise frequency. Which kind of background noise would you like? That open ground. 60 cycle hum. We got 60 people watching. Awesome. Please leave a thumbs up if you haven't already. It's a community hang. Anything goes. We're just hanging out, enjoying summertime. Ooh. It's awesome.
Yes, I'm enjoying my central AC.
Well, there's that too. Like, enjoying modern amenities, because as much as I love when it's hot every day, Terry, and they said, "Oh, it's going to rain tomorrow," and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then, "Oh, it's going to rain tomorrow," and it doesn't, and that humidity's still building, and so you're just sweaty. But the grass hasn't needed to be cut in over 2 weeks, so that's nice. I enjoy that. Need to be cut in over 2 weeks. Did I say hey to George Strong? If not, hey George Strong. My niece Hurt says my dad's a huge Taylor fan, old man. If your old man was as old as my old man, he wouldn't be. Because my old man, Martin. Like, he won't even look at a Gibson. I was like, they have a different sound. I like them too. Craven Soda, did you ever get a new neck for your Strat? I got a replacement neck years ago, but I haven't bothered. Plays fine for me. I know how to play it. Others have a hard time playing it. It's sort of like driving a vehicle with a tricky clutch. I can drive it.
Mikey Newman just
Well, I
came
might
back
throw a new
from
neck on for the hell of it.
the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Oh,
I see that.
so jelly.
Nice. They always
And of course, Scott has to throw in his 1 meg volume pot comment.
Well, it does change your tone.
It does. It does. Extra gain or just extra brightness? That's what I want to know.
What
Have you tried an old? Do they make more than a 1 meg pot? Have you tried a 2 meg pot?
You always can. Yeah, you don't want to, but you can.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Has he tried that? Has he really jumped the shark yet? I'm just curious.
2 meg volume pot with a 1 meg tone pot.
Woo! Your tone may be a little shrill. He says they rock so tight. I can imagine, like, any big act, like, at this point in their careers, it's not like they're playing through alcoholism and drug addiction at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's a corporate issue. It's like, it's like seeing Guns N' Roses. Like, hey, they were great. Yeah, then they weren't like back in the day. Because they were just such a train wreck as it was a good show. It's coin toss.
And sometimes it evolves into a really good thing. I mean, I would bring up Metallica.
Sure.
The amount of production and gear they put into a live show.
Well, it's like
we hit the Black album. It was just ridiculous. The shows were so loud. I've seen a couple before that, and it was cool, but it wasn't the same kind of fire. And I remember James got burnt with the fire.
Yep. Well, yeah, like remember the day. Well, like when. Well, I don't know. Like, it seems like every year James would break a appendage skateboarding backstage.
Yeah.
Multiple broken arms. They'd have to bring in somebody to play for them, or they just play with one guitar even. Yeah. Good stuff. Montreal Riots. Well, yeah, Montreal Riots. I'd say Montreal is like there's a lot of good historic shows out of Montreal because a lot of them got filmed, like going way back for whatever reason. But there's also been a lot of crap gone down in Montreal as well by a variety of things.
So many shows now go to Toronto and Montreal when bands are on the eastern leg of the U.S. tour, but they're not coming to Vancouver.
Not much anymore.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. I have one ticket right now for a show, and that's the stadium tour.
Mm-hmm.
Def Leppard, Motley Crue, blah, 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 September 2nd, Joan Jett, Poison. That was $100 for a couple rows back on the balcony, left of the stage. Yeah, you want to get out and do something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Avatar's coming to the Vogue. I might do that. Those tickets are cheap too. That's less than $50.
Oh yeah,
Vogue is like 1,000 people with a balcony, with beers.
Mm-hmm. It's been a few years since we've had a lot of international acts actually tour Canada. Because, like say, it's got to play. It's Toronto, Montreal, or Toronto, Vancouver. One east, one west, or Ottawa and Vancouver for some reason because they figure, Ottawa, it'll draw from Toronto and Montreal. No, it won't. They're both world-class cities. They don't travel to other cities for shows. That's not how it works.
Not unless you're a fanatic.
Yeah, exactly. Not unless you're a complete fanatic and you're an A-list. You got to be like the Stones.
I had a girlfriend who followed Age of Electric around for a month with her friend in their car driving through Alberta and Saskatchewan following Age of Electric. Are you kidding me? Have fun.
I get it, I guess. Well, my bass player, one of my bass players, he was friends with them, and his band toured with them a bit, doing the same thing. Like, they did a mini Western tour playing with them, so it was two vans traveling around instead of one, and
it's
a lot of high school auditoriums. Which is cool. Like, the fact that you could play a high school auditorium is a great show to an indie band because you could have potentially 1,000 people at a show. That's a good sized fucking show when you're traveling around in a 40 Econoline. Like, you're getting paid for that. Because even if it is just $5 a head, that's $5,000. You're probably getting at least two of it. At least. And we're talking 30, 35 years ago. That's nice.
That reminds me of those few videos I've seen either on Facebook or Instagram recently. Certain people down at Sweetwater experiencing 700 watts of Marshall stacks.
No thanks.
It's like,
No, no, the virtual kind of thing that they're doing out there, I experienced that when I was there because Ingwe was there and he had the wall of Marshalls and they were all on because they made a big deal of the fact they're all on and they let local law enforcement know because they did the sound check the day before and immediately the phone calls are like, "What's up, Buttercup? Make a little noise over there," and they're like, "Well, we got the Ingwe. He's got the Strat plug, and he's using all the Marshalls." They're like, "All the Marshalls?" He's like, "All the Marshalls," because I did the count.
To look up the decibel rating on that one.
But it was ridiculous. Like, I have earplugs in because I don't like loud to begin with. Earplugs did nothing. Symmetry is what I'm saying. They did nothing. To the point where, as he started playing, people were getting up, like 50% of the crowd, throughout the crowd, was getting up and leaving en masse. Some were stepping back. Most were just... Nope. Like, all the families, because, it's 4:30 in the afternoon. Nope. The kids are like, "Mommy, it's so loud." She's like, "I can't hear you." Because it was, and I'm just like, wow. Like, I had my hands over my ears. I'm like, I need ear defenders right now. This is too loud. And the tone was shrill, too. So I'm like, this is piercing in so many ways. I'm expecting blood soon coming out of my ears.
I want to ask them, where out in the field did you listen to this and it sounded good? Like, I guess in front of the booth would be the best spot.
Well, that was the whole point, is they wanted to set some record or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was just crazy.
It was loud at BC Place. Yeah, Slayer was always loud. I've been front row on the gate up at a Slayer show, and that... I mean,
I said,
you stop hearing it and you just feel it after a while.
Yeah, I haven't been to a lot of shows, but the loudest by far was Alice in Chains because I saw them at the concert hall in Toronto, but they had a big PA system to the point where, like, the opening act was pretty loud. And I was like, "Oh, that's a nice volume. I hope Alice doesn't go too much louder than this." And they did. They used all the decibels to the point where I couldn't understand, like, say, what they were singing. Until I plugged my ears, and then I understood what Lane was singing. I went, "Wow, this hurts." And my ears, I've had tinnitus ever since that show. So there you go. My ears have not stopped ringing since, I don't know, it was Grey Cup Sunday 1992, whenever the fuck that was.
Wow.
Well, like I said, when me and House of Twain went and seen Anvil in Aurelia, like 5-6 years ago,
they were pretty
those
loud.
dual twins.
I wish I'd seen
And
them.
it was like, oh my god, I remember my ears were ringing like for 4 or 5 hours.
Well, fortunately, they're still playing, so that helps. Well, they will be as things keep going. Because they're still making music, I know that.
And how original are they?
Still 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
It's still Rob and Lips, so, and even then, their bass player, I can't remember, is it Sal? that's playing with them now. He's been with them at least since I opened for them, which was that came up in my memories not too long ago. 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
Maybe 8. I don't know. But so he's been with them for a while, is what I'm saying. Yeah, Lips is still using those 2 twins. Pushing them, I think, was I don't know, something, an SD1 or something. And yeah, they're loud on it. Rob's still playing a big kit. Rob Reiner. And actually, my friend Scott, who Richie does a lot of studio work with, Terry, Scott Rafi. Scott Rafi's girlfriend for I think a couple of years now is Rob's sister. He grew up like across the street from the Reiners in Toronto. Yeah. He relocated down here. They reconnected a few years ago, and yeah, it's like, really? It's like, yeah, because every time I go to Richie's, more times than not, he's wearing an Anvil t-shirt. Because she's always bringing down like old merch from tours a few years ago. It's like, yeah, Rob found another box of merch. Do you want some t-shirts? And because, you know, he does painting and stuff, it's like, okay. So he's always wearing an Anvil. It was like, Anvil, you're a 2016. I'm like, okay, sure.
Anvil tablecloth, Anvil napkins. Convert them all into like all these like cloth things.
NM156, new name in the chat. Good to see you.
Yeah.
My loudest show,
Hey,
with Randy. Nice. Ears rang for 5 days. Awesome but brutal.
I'm still kicking around the idea of going to that Maple Ridge hootenanny.
I
mean, that's an 80s Canadiana extravaganza.
That's yeah. There's all the flavors. Like you can mingle. You can go up to the stage. You know, like it's one of those deals. Even if you only like half the bands, the ticket's still worth the price.
Nazareth? Are you kidding me? Nazareth is on the list of bands I wish I'd seen. Why wouldn't I?
They live. Well, at least a couple of members live in Cousin Doug's area. They live in Kitchener. They were hosting an open mic for a while when I was living there in the late 90s. I was like, what? Because I'd heard about this open mic, and then after I left, I think it was Doug, might have been Doug that told me. He goes, yeah, there's a couple guys from Nazareth. I'm like, fuck, I've been on stage jamming with a couple guys from Nazareth.
Rock Daddy, welcome. And Dwight Bailey.
Rock Daddy. What's up, Hitman?
A loud show where I actually had to move back was the opening acts for Mastodon. Not this latest one, but the last album before. So friggin' loud. Great tone, but we had to actually move back away from it.
I usually, if it's too loud, I find a place.
I'm half deaf too, and we still had to.
Yeah, like I remember
being at the drag racing track. You know, when the alcohol and the nitro funny cars are up at the line.
Step back.
It's a rush to go up there for a few seconds, but you wouldn't want to live there, especially you can't protect yourself like this.
No,
it's gonna hurt.
Well, that was like when Skinnerd was playing at the NASCAR race when I was running late and I forgot my earplugs. And so when I was walking around from backstage, as soon as I got in front of the PA at all, immediately, you know, you feel it. And I'm like, nope, that's too loud. Like, I don't need my ears ringing. There's going to be a NASCAR race happen. Like, I don't want my ears blown out before the race even starts. So that's what then I just hung back. And because they actually use wedge monitors, you just got the stage mix, which for me, and be the same with you, Michael B. You're like, oh, then it just sounds like a live stage. Yeah. I'm fine with this mix. Actually, I prefer this mix because I feel like I'm part of the show, literally. Because you're like, they're 15, 20 feet away, and you're right there looking at Gary Rossington going, damn, that's a nice
King Diamond was pretty loud. We saw them at the Channel in Boston. That was a really good show, though. Nice. I mean, really, really good show. And that dude can belt those notes.
Motorhead. Yeah, I could see that. I missed Motorhead. They were... I didn't know there was live music in downtown Kitchener. Like, I only lived in Kitchener for about 7 months. And I didn't realize there was live music, like, right down the street from where my sister worked. Because there's, like, a whole street of bars type thing. And... just before I left, they had Collective Soul playing. I was like, I should check them out. And this would be the late 90s, so whatever. It'd be, whatever, it's a show. But then Motorhead was playing right after I left town. I'm like, I'm like, first of all, they're still alive, because it's late 90s. Internet isn't really a thing, And I'm like, oh, that'd be awesome. Probably loud as hell. And this is like 1999, we'll say. And I'm already thinking, I might be too old to go to that show. I was already thinking that because I knew it was going to be loud and aggressive. What's up, Dane? Owner of one of the coolest guitar shops on the planet. I said it, so it must be true because I said it on the internet, Terry. So it's
I would
gotta
love
be
to
true.
shop there.
I'd like to loiter there.
If he was local, I would be in there all the time.
Oh yeah, he knows that with me. I would just at least once a week I'd have to drop in for 5 minutes and leave 2 hours later.
Yeah, see what new things he brought in that week.
Exactly. What you got? And then shoot a bunch of demos.
Cheers, Uncle Leo. Leo Safko.
Yeah, good to see Leo in here.
I'm pretty sure we're older than him.
Jeff K. I don't think I said hello, Jeff K. Marcy says, did you guys know there was a women's division in F1? It's called Formula W. Only half the cars finish. And those that do have fenders missing. They don't finish. They're open wheel.
That's funny.
Did I say hey to Joe Hervey? Because he's been here the whole show.
You should again.
I should. So,
And
Joe
Dwight
Hervey.
I see Dwight
you.
Bailey popped in here.
Dwight Bailey's in. Yeah, well, he's in between writing songs at the moment. He's just taking a breather. Probably restringing a guitar because he's just worn out the last set from writing hits.
It is hot as balls in here.
Side pods and mirrors. There you go.
That was 90s here today.
97 now. Ooh.
97. Jeez.
Oh, it's cooled off here.
We're almost
In-
like a
in
paradox
Celsius,
where
that's
temperature is
horrible.
your body temperature, right?
Symmetry in Celsius. That's got to be blowing you up.
Oh, nice. We've cooled off to a nice
35
73.
right there. There we go.
I'll take 73. And again, apparently it's going to
37.
rain at 11. Yeah, sure it is. Actually, it did rain
Stay
today.
hydrated, kids.
That means I got to... Oh, man, I got to mow the lawn because it rained. There we go. Joe Hervey says, Ben, I did have a question before, and apparently I missed it. Why does EQ pedals tend to cost more?
Yeah,
Do they?
that's a good question.
Well,
Put the 10 band down.
I'm guessing there's more components.
it's, the moving components cost... It's like having pots, like 7-band EQ, that's 7 pots type thing. That, or you could just buy a cheap one, like a Joyo. There are affordable ones.
Amazon Basics, I think, actually.
But they're noisy. I hear the cheap ones are noisy, which doesn't make sense for an EQ pedal where you're really trying to dial in your sound. I don't understand that. That's like a noisy noise gate. Okay, it doesn't work for me. Although a lot of noise gates also act as a compressor, so
The 10 band
Remember that.
MXR pedal.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of that.
$110 all day long at long.
I find they do.
Hmm.
Which is okay because it's a mild compression, and like if you're playing like metal, guess what? You can use a low compression because you're not looking for a lot of dynamics in your playing. It's all chug. It's
What was
full.
that?
You're going full throttle.
I was just gonna ask Symmetry. What was that you were just saying? MXR graphics pedal at what price at Long and McQuaid?
We got the 10 band MXR EQ. The one you want to put in the loop. And it's $210 all day long at Long and McQuaid. $216.99.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's
Yeah.
about right. Yeah, it's hard to get an MXR pedal under 200 these days.
Just
What's up,
say
Mark?
So
The
I
boss
don't think
EQs are
$216
less than
Canadian is a
that.
lot for a pedal. I bet you the Boss 7 band is probably
Yeah.
It's-
$70.
Yeah, right. And I would buy the
Boss
base.
pedals have shot up though in Canada. I've noticed. I got a little sticker shot.
Everything is shot up, man.
Yeah.
But
It's hard to find a
new.
new pedal in a big box store under $200 Canadian. It's
The
just
Boss 7 band EQ is $199.99.
But I would buy the base one.
I didn't say it was impossible, Terry. I said it was hard, and they came in
And
under
stock
a
at my
penny.
store.
Yeah, although that's before tax. So depending on which province you live in.
12%
Like
here,
what Joe
5 and
Hardy
7.
says.
Yeah,
I'm not paying $200 for an EQ, lol. I'll get a Rev G3 before that.
there you go.
You got a tone knob on the guitar. You got 3 of them on the amp. How much more do you want?
I hey, Josco.
Hey,
I was rocking my
Jessica.
Josco shirt earlier today. I switched into the Hawaiian shirt for the show tonight.
It's festive.
Good to see Josco in here. Buy anything new lately? Man, he's got some doozies of guitars. He should come on one week. We should do that.
Yeah, actually, that
He's
would
got
be
some
cool.
beautiful,
Cool.
beautiful guitars.
No, in his luck, he'd get an emergency call. Oh, crap.
Michael Kress says, just spend the dollars and get a Source Audio EQ. I don't even want to know what it costs. I don't want to know. That's like,
Oh, God.
Well-
Source audio. That's pricey.
like I wonder how silent and nice would be a Waza EQ. You know, because a Boss EQ is known as a decent pedal, so, you know, not like the Waza tuner. I really don't understand the concept of that. I think I think that would be more annoying because it'd be too accurate and it'd be constantly messing with me. I'd be like, nope, toss.
Huh.
Buzz would love to come on sometime. Email down below. We can talk.
Yeah, cool.
Especially come on one of these community
Really
hangs.
quite nice. I mean, it's a little hot today, but usually hanging out here is. And
Oh, Jesus.
our Zoom calls are really fun.
Yes, Terry.
The last
Yes.
one was a couple
I
few
gotta-
hours.
I
We
gotta
were talking
verify
about all
this
kinds of stuff.
Before I actually comment.
Yeah, we should mention that.
Okay. Yeah.
Both Symmetry and Michael B are semi-regulars for sure in the Zoom calls that we do that are available for patrons and channel members. So if you want to click the join button, and it's available for any tier, excuse me, that's for sure. And yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Gathering at the pub.
It's
on a
funny because the best
Saturday
way to
afternoon.
describe it is something that most people don't understand. Is it's kind of like one of these shows after we go off air, right? Like,
Yeah.
you guys know what I'm talking about, but they don't necessarily. So it's just, yeah, it's off air. So we'll shoot the shit and anything goes, because it's like we can go 2 hours, 15 minutes of it is guitar talk. A lot of it is life talk,
Yeah.
and it's a great support.
It's like hanging out, but without the the pressure of the live show.
Exactly.
So you don't. Yeah.
Thank you,
I
Lawrence. Yes, the LPD Nice Drive A has a nice EQ sweep.
Okay.
Because I wanted knobs that did stuff, Terry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want a bass control where it's kind of more bass and kind of less bass. I either want all the bass or none of the bass.
Oddly enough, there is no Waza EQ.
Really? Kind of shocked at that.
Yeah,
They're like,
so am
there's
I.
not much we can do.
They got the tuner.
What would a Waza version do? What would that little switch do on a Waza that the normal one does?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like, I think for it to be a Waza version, they'd almost have to make it a more, like an 11 or a 13 or, like more. That's what I'm saying.
As it is,
Is there anything
Boss-
different besides the case, or is it really
Yeah.
different when it's Waza?
The Waza ones do have a switch, which is supposedly gives you a more modern version of the pedal it applies to.
Yeah. Or the more vintage version,
Right.
depending on the
A
flavor.
tastier version, nonetheless. Something that's
Yeah.
almost, at some cases, worth double.
Yeah.
The Waza
Yeah, for the
SD1
reason that you're
was-
like, I don't need the non-switched circuit. Just give me the other.
SD1 was $70.
Yeah. But
I think
that's the nice
Waza
thing about
version was
Waza is they give you the hedge your bets, right? Because really the Waza is whatever that switch is. That's the circuit you're paying for the Waza. Otherwise, it's just a stock Boss pedal when it's not engaged.
What's the matter
But
with that?
with
Not
that
that-
said,
Hey, Ricky Compton.
Boss Graphic EQ 200, which is stereo, is 379 Canadian.
Oh yeah, that's good point. LRM Guitars mentions, and Wazas are made in Japan, not Malaysia.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point.
or China, and probably as a result, probably has, I would hope, better components. Because otherwise you're just paying different labor rates if it's the exact same thing. It's like, what's the difference between a Mexican Strat and an American Strat? Cost of labor. The parts are the same.
A border.
Do they use the same wood?
It is
local wood, or do they use the same wood?
No, they source it for both plants. Now, sure, there may be some sorting that goes.
It's going to dry faster in Mexico, I would think.
But the attention to detail on a guitar is not quite the same with the pedal.
But isn't that on a personal basis, though? I mean, it just depends on who's on the line that day, right? Some people are going to enjoy their work more than others in any given.
But on the other hand, some of the stuff coming out of Mexico, I started noticing it a few years ago. Jasco, thanks, buddy.
Nice.
Got a new member.
Nice. We'll see you in the next Zoom call.
All right.
Hope to see you in the next Zoom call. Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Made in Mexico. Made with authentic cactus.
Well, they're putting a guave inside those fucking straps? That'd be pretty sweet.
The funny part is, like, the Mexican plant's been there now for what, 30 years?
Yeah.
So like you're gonna have some master luthiers there by this point. Like, you can't not, and that's where we get stuff like the EVH Frankie, where it's coming out of Mexico, but like that's not assembly lines. Like, someone's got to take time for that.
Yeah, the prices of things coming out of Mexico has gone up for sure.
Yeah.
So then you ask yourself, do you buy a $2,000 guitar that's going to play well out of the box, or do you buy a $500 guitar and spend a few hours on it and make it play well?
My Epiphone
Exactly.
plays great right out of the box. I haven't touched it.
Wow. Nice.
It's purple.
Well, see, that's kind of funny that you mentioned that, Symmetry, because I was thinking that after I had Dad on the other night, was he never worked on his guitars at all, right? Like, he always had them served, like, he'd restring them, but all the setups were done by somebody. Like, he never touched the truss rod, which I get because you got to take the neck off for that one. Right. And if you don't know what you're doing, whatever. And he didn't have the tool. But here's a guy that would build hot rods from scratch. I'm like, why wouldn't you work on guitar? like for me, I didn't see a difference from the moment I got into cars and in the moment I got into guitar. It's just tinker.
The bridge. I mean, some of us just have inquisiting minds, and we got to know and take shit apart. I mean, that's my story. That's what I've always done. But there is a bit of a bridge between woodworking and car fixing and metal fabrication. And I mean, if you can throw all that in like a salad bar, your life gets so much easier. Get a toolbox and fix it.
We got another new channel member in Buzz Wilder.
Woo! All right.
Awesome. Welcome, Buzz.
Awesome.
Wow. 2 in 10 minutes. That's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
No. Celebrate good time. Come out. I'm not going to do any more copyright. Apparently, when you get into the dancey stuff, RJ learned they really block it. Like, you do not do El DeBarge on your live stream. You do not fucking do El DeBarge. As much as you want to, with the weather the way it is, because that's my summer jam. Like, Michael B., we're about the same age. Like, when I hear, that El DeBarge hit, immediately I think of a video montage. We're probably restoring a yacht of some kind, a race to maybe save the camp at the lake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're probably facing off against Rob Johnson. As much as we love Rob Johnson, he kind of looks like that guy that, he's so good looking that
I think so.
Like that guy, that has the yacht. Every time I hear that song, it's just like, they start with the steel drums and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. It's an 80s. We got to fix whatever we got to fix to beat whoever for the whatever.
Yeah.
Turning on my fan, so I'm going to mute my mic.
It's quite all right. And I saw a Dickhead comment, everything rolling out of Fender Mexico has been hit and miss QC-wise the last couple of years. I haven't seen that myself.
That stinks.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
Well, someone
And again, I
has.
haven't picked up a lot in the last couple years, but the ones I have, they've been fine.
I mean, two of my favorite guitars are 95 Mexican. One's a Strat and one's a P-Bass.
My number one's a 2015, and I also own 2 vintage Tellys. And they're not my number ones.
I am currently Tellyless. I'm a little ashamed to say it.
I think, sure, it is a little easier to bend on a 9.5 radius as opposed to 7 1/4, but it's more that the frets are worn out on the 67.
Oh, okay.
And I'm still fiddling with the 71 because it's still not playing right. And I'm waiting for Travis to get up and running with his luthier shop thing. So hey,
has he made it here yet?
Oh yeah. He's been here for a few weeks. I'm just letting him settle in. I haven't heard from him, but I keep meaning to message him, so I should do that this week. Because he might already be set up at this point. But I offered to help him set up, but I haven't heard anything. So he could be just spending time with family, right now. So
yeah.
How dare he?
Well,
It takes a while to get settled.
How dare he?
Yeah. Well, plus he could be hustling up some side money to get everything up and running guitar-wise, because he also does, I don't know, like the boot camp training stuff. I don't know what, he can do that, or yoga, or he's all like fitness guy.
That Tough Mudder shit where they go.
Yeah. He can run those clinics and shit like that, or whip you into shape. And I was just like, okay.
Back by an electrical wire while you're scuttling around in the mud. Sounds great.
Yeah, a few years ago, he's like, hey, do you want to go for a hike? I'm like, no. I'll go with a hike with these guys I'm on the panel with, because I'm thinking I can keep up with you cats. Him, he probably wants to jog at least.
I want a golf cart,
Oh, man.
or at least some kind of a motorcycle.
I want
a jetpack.
Go through the mountain trails, yeah.
At the very least, I need a series of flat rocks and or benches strategically placed every 100 to 200 yards so I can take breaks. I don't know, enjoy the nature looking around. Yeah, that's my excuse, but really, I just want to...
choices and such.
Yeah. Do a 1 mile loop and give me 6 hours to do it, is what I'm saying. What's up, Brandon Price? He says, my EVH Frankie was horrible out of the box.
Ooh.
Had 2 crapsy Mexican Charvels. Interesting.
Yuck. That stinks.
Yeah.
Maybe it is hit and miss. I just happen to be getting the good ones, and other people are getting the crap. I don't know.
But again, to point out what he said they were, though. EVH and Charvel, which are 2 newer lines that they're doing in Mexico.
Yeah, but it's still the same people.
Yeah.
It's just you're building one brand one day, you're building another brand the next day.
I'm not going to buy a guitar unless I can touch it first.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Pedals, I don't give a rat's ass.
That's right.
Yeah, that's hit or miss. And if
You
it's
have to play it.
Send it back and go through the hassle or whatever. Yeah,
And amps, I would probably try
feel it.
first. But I don't buy much in the way of amps, and 2, but again, I would probably want to try the amp first just to make sure it's okay before, because amps can have little weirdnesses in them.
Something with tubes.
Yeah. Plus, you want, for warranties on an amp, you want a salesperson hearing it as well. You're like, this is okay? Yep, let's write it up and go. That way.
I was lucky with this thing because I got it from a friend or an associate, an acquaintance, whatever, that owned a pawn shop.
Huh.
He had it in there for $800. I got it off him for $600.
Sure.
$200 payment.
Even better.
Yeah.
If it was going to break, I could take it back. So I brought it home, put it through some paces, although I'm much better at making noise now than I was at the time. And so, for $600, and then $300 for this 412 matching cabinet with the G75T in there. I'm 80% of the way, and that's good enough for me. I'm not going to be in a band.
That's awesome.
Jam. I'm just sitting here because I love sounding loud guitar, doing big old open chords or whatever.
Sure.
Right?
You could play in a band with
whatever
either
the
of
fuck
those
you want.
amps.
Yep.
Figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
You could jam with anybody with those 2 amps, or one of them, and either one of them.
I don't think I could ever go to a computer modeler or something like that. It would cost me more than what this cost just to get the studio monitors that would make it happen in a computer. I think it's going to be $1,500, $2,000. $900? You're rocking.
It's awesome.
Exactly. Hey, Gretsch Zeppelin.
But I just took my first real try using a tube amp on guitar with the band. I haven't done it with the band before. It's not my first tube amp, but
I think Joe Hervey wants to hear a rant tonight. They say because he goes, Ben, what happened with getting a nice case? When did it turn to gig bags? You spend $1,500 plus, you get a bag. Joe. Oh, I know. Like, fuck, Joe. Like,
that's a big selling point. If I'm looking at a guitar, and it comes with a hard shell case, I mean that's worth a couple few.
Yeah, and let's let forget $1,500. Why? Okay. What's a Lester Pulphus go for Canadian? $3,500, $3,800 now. They come with a gig bag. Now, granted,
crazy.
It's a nice gig bag. I will say, padded. Like it's not a gig bag. Like it's not a nylon with a excuse of padding type thing. Like it's a molded, like it looks like a case, but it's not a case. But they're still better than the cardboard cases used to get. First of all, because those fuckers. First of all, you could only carry the handle with 3 fingers because you had to have your index finger over the cover. Otherwise, you'd be walking along and the case would just open, and there goes your guitar. That's not. It's okay if it's a Telly; it'll survive it. Because a Les Paul, it folded in half, just looking at the ground. It actually broke in half before it hit the ground. It went, "No, please," and died.
Jasco makes an interesting point.
You can't have the mono bags. Okay,
so Gibson. This is a $350 Gibson with pickups put in it after the fact.
Yeah.
Nice.
And my buddy brought it over in that styrofoam case that he's reinforced with the yellow tuck tape.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you have a Les Paul headstock on your guitar, like that style, you got to have a hard shell.
Yeah,
you're just asking for it to be busted,
right?
I don't know. I just think you're asking for the headstock.
Exactly, Guitar Man. His handle, RJ, with his vintage guitar he bought, the handle broke.
Right after he got it. There's a lot of companies that are moving away from including a hard shell case.
Well, it's
and putting
like a lot of
kind of premium tier soft shell.
Yeah, it's the continuation of cutting corners here and there. To the fact, like I was ranting to Mark yesterday about. Used to be you go to the grocery store, right? There was a bag person, a bag boy, we'll call it, right? Yeah. Cashier, ding, 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 ding. Actually, they're probably looking at at that point. They're still actually ringing shit in. And then someone's there, bing, 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 putting your eggs on top. Have a nice day. Do you need help putting the shit in the car even? They were that nice.
Yeah.
And then that guy, he doesn't have a job anymore. And then the cashier would ding, 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 and then put the shit in for you, eggs on top. Do you need somebody to help you? Because we can call one of the stock boys if you need it. If not, have a nice day. And now you go to the grocery store, they just swipe it all through, and you got to bag it yourself.
It's more than that. You have to do it yourself. You can
go to the self-checkout, which I refuse to do self-checkouts because if I do, they don't have a job anymore. So
CVS,
that's why I
have no choice.
Yeah. If I got 2 things, like a roll of paper towels and some toilet paper, I'm going to hit the self-checkout because
I might do that, yeah. Especially if there's a lineup.
That kind of crap, I'm not going to go searching around for a code in the computer and stuff. I'll stand in line for a few minutes.
I mean,
it's like continuation of cutting corners here and there. And like I say, it started with everything came with a hard shell case originally, and then it didn't. It either came with a case or nothing. And then we started having the cardboard cases. Then we got the gig bags, the really shitty gig bags, which were literally just the nylon, no padding, which was just a dust cover, really.
Right.
Dust cover with a handle.
If you're buying a $1,200 guitar at the Long and McQuaid, throw in a case, got the $60 little bit stretched Yorkville will fit the Explorer with some movement of foams. That's all I need, something to get it home safe.
Yep.
And move it around. And they threw that in.
That's why somebody
got to wheel and deal a little bit. They're willing to budge a bit, at least.
Well, and that's the funny. I've mentioned that to salespeople is, because a lot of places they can't afford to keep all the boxes for everything that they put out in the showroom, right? Because they also have stock in the back. So it's like, okay, if I buy a Les Paul, how do you expect me to get it home without that headstock breaking off? So you either have to have a case for it of some kind, or the box it came in, where it would have been shipped from Gibson in just a box, but one of those foam deal, cardboardy, whatever, and you can put it back in that and get it home. Is what they can't expect you to spend thousands of dollars and then which the same for that matter then goes for an Epiphone Les Paul or anything with a tilt back headstock.
I did the hard shell with
they'll
the
buy the
Epiphone.
guitar and a new set of strings and a handful of picks, and it's like, I'm buying my grandson the whole setup. Just throw it all on the tab, shing, go.
Yeah.
But if you squeak a little, you'd be surprised what you can get out of it.
Well, and it also depends on like where you gig or jamming or whatever too, because like I know like a lot of the New York guys will do the gig bag, because the gig bag over the shoulder, pedal board, amp, you show up because nobody can park anywhere, right? That makes sense in a way. Whereas for me, it's always been, I don't have a place to place my guitar to get to the gig. Like, it's going to be sitting on top of amplifiers. It's going to be moving around. It can't sit in a gig bag. Like, I got to expect it to be bumping around, so it has to be a hard shell case. And that's the whole thing, is because you cram all the guitars in the top.
And I would argue if the guitar is worth anything more than $2,500, get a flake case.
That too.
Yeah.
I was just
at that point, I mean, it's just it's an otter box for your guitar.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Otter box.
I have 3 flake cases because I bought one for a Strat style guitar, which I put my Kramer in because it's the only one big enough to fit the Kramer in, because the headstock is being that extra length. It's hard to find a case for it. And then both the Wolfgang and the Music Man came with flake cases because that's the way Eddie rolls. It's either a flake case or nothing, basically. I think he might offer a shitty gig bag, but I don't think they do, because they generally just ship them in a big box anyway, so you're good to go.
I was just going to add, like, that's something that somebody has brought up recently about how buying a high-end Epiphone is really good bang for your buck, because they throw in a hard shell case.
Well, mine didn't have that.
They're north of $1,000. Even the Epi 59, like the one that Randy Crooks just got.
I have a 16.
Those things are north of $1,000 Canadian.
Yeah.
And I get it because they have Gibson pickups, and I don't know if they have full Gibson hardware. Gibson pickups for sure.
Gibson on the pots too. Yeah.
And pots. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I have.
I would say wiring. But they don't use wires anymore.
No, it looks new.
Gibson circuit board.
Thankfully, they didn't do
It's not really circuit board. It's more just connectors. That's all to keep it nice. I actually like it. That's one of my favorite parts of it.
Yeah, but aren't the pots still integrated into the circuit board where you can't replace just the pots?
I don't think so. I thought they're just CTS pots. I didn't open mine. I saw someone open one online.
The leads end up going onto the circuit board, so you're fucked. Type thing. Like, you can't.
I'm not so sure. I'll look. I'm gonna look.
Please.
Hosford actually brings in an interesting point.
Even if they're soldered to a circuit board, you can get them off with enough determination.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna open it up. We're gonna be on more than 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna open it up.
All right. Haas says, I don't use my Pro Flight cases anymore. I've had way more issues with damaged guitars than a mono gig bag. They're so well padded, and the baggage handlers are more gentle because it looks soft.
That's a good point.
That is a good point. And that's from somebody who actually does the stuff that we are pontificating upon. That's what I'm saying. He is saying he doesn't have, a roadie throwing it into a trailer. That's a glorified garden trailer, which actually, it's a glorified box on a garden trailer symmetry, which, you started out with a garden trailer, and then we built a box for the gear, right? And it's being
got a canopy off an old truck, and you made a top for it.
Well, yeah, we didn't even go that far because that fucker leaked. It was just particle board all the way around and a lot of silicone caulking. And I remember when we left the studio after recording our album, we're heading across Toronto on the 401, right? And he starts hitting a couple of bumps, and I noticed the box is shifting back in the trailer slightly. And I'm like, did we put the master bungee cord around everything? And the bass player looks at me, he's like, all of a sudden, all color drained, and we're in the fast lane because we're going full on of the 6 lanes because we're going 100 miles, so we don't need to be anywhere over to transfers and stuff. And also, we got to get over there. And every time we're hitting bumps going across Toronto, which is not the best pavement at that time, it's moving a little further out, a little further out. So we get off at the first available exit, and the box is already like 18 inches, and it's full of fucking gear. So he's like, what do we do? I'm like, okay, you're going to roll ahead steady for about 8 feet, and then just brake check the fucker. He's like, okay. Yes, okay. The only thing we could find is at a convenience store was shitty yellow nylon rope. But I wrapped like 100 fucking feet. I don't know how many times we went around that trailer. And we're like, hope she holds, because it's all the band's gear, and it can just end up across the highway at any time. Yeah. And the question was, we're thinking to ourselves, like, if that does happen, do we stop? Do we bother stopping? Because the gear's fucked. Because it's Labor Day weekend on the 401. So the gear is going to be just done. So. Not to mention, you're going to be playing Frogger trying to save an Epiphone Les Paul? No. Fucking let her go. Be more concerned about the pedal board.
Jump out. Fucking wait up a road.
My Epiphone Les Paul is offended.
These were well used, and well, actually, no, it wasn't. One of them was my J Tercer. Nice. I had one just like it. That's what I'm saying. I did not take that to record with. What's up, Alex Radford? Young Mr. Radford.
Hey, Alex. Long time no see.
And the other guitar I took up to record was a Axel Badwater. I forget what the model. Yeah, it's basically Axel's version of a Les Paul. Thanks, Zach. It was scary. It was scary.
And Bozique saying, now back to the topic of the 78 guitars. I want your guys' opinion. I hear Fender is moving all U.S. production to Mexico. I think these overpriced EVH Mexi guitars are a way to get the consumer ready. Well, yes and no. Most of the main line has been planned to be moved to Mexico for a while now. What won't be moved to Mexico from California is anything custom shop. Custom shop will remain in the U.S., but
I agree
anything
with Bozique.
below custom shop will be coming out of Mexico.
I cannot officially comment on what I've heard for the last 18 months and suspected for the last 18 months, but I'm not going to disagree with Terry. All but the custom shops going to Mexico. Yeah. So yes, I was not, as much as I love this guitar, Terry, and I love this guitar, I wouldn't step out on the 401 for it. Sorry. I wouldn't.
No.
As much as that amp got me through a shit ton of gigs back in the day, I paid $300 for it. I don't care. Let it go. The pedal board, I would be more. Even then, I don't know what was on my pedal board. I wasn't into the boutique-y stuff because I wasn't into YouTube at the time. YouTube to me at that time was still just Google. It was just a research source. Cheers. I have my A&W root beer.
Well, I think it's again, when you get out of that mindset of the brand name on the headstock is when you start realizing a good instrument is a good instrument, no matter the dollar
This brand
value.
name?
Yeah. For example.
I was this close to getting a Harley Benton based on Steve from Boston's opinion.
But they're fine. Yeah, they're
For a few $100, if you want to try Telly, try Telly.
Yeah, I got
the one Harley Benton I did play was a Harley Benton Telly, and I went, sure, it's on par with Squire of the same price.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's what I said. I got the TE52, and it's on par with a Squire Classic Vibe. And it's a lot cheaper than a Squire Classic Vibe.
Yeah, they will have American presence still, Doug. It'll just be strictly custom shop and or limited run stuff. But then again, you say custom shop, but that's custom so that's custom shop. Fender, Gretsch, Jackson, Charvel, EVH, Guild. So that's all. That will all be in Corona.
Do they manufacture the Gretches? I thought they just distributed them.
No, they make them too.
They make them too. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all they do. Is
I know it's a license deal though. It's not...
exactly. They license the name from the Gretsch family, which, well, more or less, like, other than because all they do is color variants, which, you know, the Gretsch family are going to be like, go for it. It's not like they're bringing out any new Gretches, right? It's all like, I'm sure they need to get approved from the Gretsch family for a new model, per se.
Yeah.
Like
I guess they probably reissued all of their signature ones.
Well, exactly, and they're all labeled like, you know, the 2216s and they're 2217 or whatever. Yeah. Like, it's all variants. Like, the body shape, as long as it's the same body shape, they don't care. Like, oh, we put humbuckers in it. Oh, we put filter. Oh, we put single. They don't care. You know, or different colors. They don't care. It's just all of a sudden if they're like, hey, we're gonna make a Gretsch Flying V. The family go, man, I don't think you. Nope, you're not. You know.
Yeah, the only thing I've actually seen Gretsch-wise recently is they now have a players grade series of Gretches coming out.
Nice.
Which really doesn't look like there's much different to them than...
actually, no. Barry, yes, there is. Yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about because I asked if... Because I asked if they're made in Japan as opposed to Korea or Indonesia because I noticed it was something a little better. Oh, look at this. All right, hang on. I'm going to solo you too, just because I can.
Full-size pots, but the interconnector.
Right.
Yeah, I told you the interconnector, but that's cool.
Yeah, it is.
That's not a circuit board. That's actually making it...
No, it's different now than it used to be. That's different. That's different.
Real CTS pots in this thing.
Yeah, that's different. That's not what they used to do.
Bargain circuit board.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
it's real. And it's Gibson pickups too. This thing was like $700 something bucks.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Perfect. I like that. Okay, that's definite. That's like cover removed seal of approval because you can do that.
Laptops.
See in there.
Sorry, someone was looking for some video equipment.
But yeah, I was gonna say Gretsch is like EVH, and like EVH comes up with all the design stuff, like and then they go to Fender and go, here, build this. Like, okay, and that liaison is basically Chip Adams, because they go, hey, can you do this? And Chip's like, yep, we can make that happen. How does these work? And and then they give seal proof. Then they give it to Fender, and they lab coats and probably laser focusing 3D print. I don't know what they're doing. White rooms, clipboards for some reason. I don't know. An iPad makes more sense to me, but they got clipboard.
If I could tell you guys anything, after 53 years of experience on this planet, if you're walking around with a clipboard, let alone a lab coat, people are just going to fucking chill around you and let you do whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah, I learned that long. You don't even need a lab coat. If you show up anywhere with a clipboard, you can walk anywhere.
Drawing pictures of little bunnies.
Doesn't matter. Yep.
Yeah, we learned that.
I'm watching you, motherfuckers.
Well, we learned that a long time ago too in IT. Like, I used to help support cash registers at a store, and you were trained to go up and literally just go with the clipboard. What's your name? You'd write it down. We'd actually make a phone call to the maintenance guys, and they'd put it on, and you'd be like, yeah, okay, you resetting it now? Okay, yeah, all right, we'll try it. You hit the reset button, turn it off, turn it back on, it was all fixed. And we just...
Oh, yeah. But yeah, getting back to my point, Terry, I was checking out some of the new Gretches, including a really nice 12-string. Oh, It was a 12-string... kind of a root beer with gold hardware, which normally I don't care for, but it really worked with a 12-string because it was all the gold then, and it just kind of worked. It was classy. And It was priced though, and I went, "Ooh, it was that made in Japan?" Because there's a bump up in the price that you normally see next to a Gretsch, and he's like, "No, they're doing it." And I'm looking at it up close. I'm like, "This got nice shit on it. Like, this is well made. Like, this is next level fit and finish." My somewhat blind eye looking at it up close, scrutinizing it. Yeah, I did, Charles. Oh, beautiful 12 string. They keep wanting me to plug it in and play it, and I'm like, no, because it's I think around $2,000, and I'm like, no, because it's a big enough body that it won't have the headstock dive because it is a 12, and I'm like, and it's a Gretsch 12, so it's going to be all kinds of jangly. Fuck the Dano 12. I want a Gretsch 12, and I know I want that guitar, and I will not. I will not pick up that guitar because I know they can arrange financing, and I do not want it. And Symmetry, Long McQuaid is very fair with their financing. It's very easy and affordable, and next to no interest. And I get that.
It takes like less than 10 minutes to fill out. Yeah. If you have a credit card and a driver's license.
That's nuts.
With that guitar I bought, the Prophecy, it was...
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want a Gretsch sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, and in 3 years it's fully mine.
Exactly.
I went, here's $600, $50 a month for the next year. Done.
Which model are you talking about, Ben?
I don't know what model, because what
style is it?
All right, so it's okay because I don't like double cuts, right? For some reason I don't like double cut hollow bodies, so it's a single cut hollow body, kind of
whatever we call it,
kind of a root beery, but maybe there could be some burgundy winey color in there. I don't know, with gold hardware, and then the pickguard is that kind of matte, almost like a gold top Les Paul type finish on, or champagne-y pickguard, if you will. Yeah. And I was, and then
nice.
All the tuning pegs up there, all of them. And because I could hear it already. It's just sitting, and they have it. It's one of the two Gretches they actually have on just stands up on top of what used to be the pedal board display case, and they're just there. And I'm just like, they're there because I come in here on occasion, and they're mocking me. Like, have you checked out the two best Gretches in the store? And I'm like, yeah. They also have a pink-on-pink Kramer behind the cash register I was looking at. Matching headstock, pink Kramer. Dual white humbuckers with all pink. I was like, that actually looks pretty damn snazzy. I will not lie.
So
I didn't ask.
Like me that sits 2 feet in front of my 412. I'm thinking a semi-hollow or a hollow body is probably a bad idea, right?
That's a bad... You'll be stuffing in all the T-shirts in it.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to plug in the door outside.
Yeah. Your hollow body would turn into a semi-hollow body, then a not-so-semi-hollow body.
Unless you're looking to do Ted Nugent.
Get out the spray foam. Just... And then you just trim off the excess that comes in through the F-holes.
Shape it to the way you want it.
Yeah. Do not do that, folks. Do not. It will solve your feedback problem, but it might change the tone just a bit.
Oh, God. Styrofoam? Spray foam?
Okay. I retract that. I will buy a Gretsch and do that if I hit 1 million subs. Ooh. Terry, you remind me. If we hit 1 million subs, I will buy a Gretsch and we'll do a before and after of tone. I won't even change the strings or anything. Just, there and then...
I wonder how that would be. Because you'd think the sound waves, the resonant frequencies and shit, would travel pretty easily through the expanded foam.
I feel the poor devil if the pot ever goes bad, because you got a pot that's encased in spray foam. You're never going to fucker out. That's an argument. Spray foam just to get to it.
You thought circuit boards on your pots were bad.
Oof. Now I kind of want to buy a $100 acoustic guitar and just try it for fun.
Shaving cream.
Lots of J-Ters or cheap acoustics around.
So spread the word, folks. We got 61 watching. Far and wide, if I hit 1 million subs, I will do that. Because I'm
Next
pretty
week.
sure, based off algorithms, if you have 1,000,000 subs and you figure, any of your subs actually watch your shit, just enough of them watching a pre-real ad will pay for the damn Gretsch. I'm thinking if you have 1,000,000 subs.
Yeah.
So. Fill
Next
it with
week.
picks. We could do that, especially if NAMM starts handing out picks again.
Fill it with packing peanuts. That definitely would change the characteristics.
But you have
Pack
to
as
top it
many,
off.
just keep cramming them in until you hear a little clink. I didn't know it was running late, Doug. Doug just texted me, race is starting back up. Didn't know it stopped. Guess I won't be watching the whole thing live. Well, that's okay. Or on recorded.
No spoilers.
I can't eat a guitar. That would be too hard on the teeth, Scott. Bozique is back.
Any guitar that was made out of something that you could eat would suck.
It's
Just a
interesting.
speculation. I haven't tried the experiment. I'm just theorizing that
Yeah, I don't. Well, like
chocolate chip cookie guitar ain't gonna.
no, because you're gonna end up with a Steinberger-sized guitar if you got a case of the munchies.
No headstock with the big Cookie Monster crunch out of it.
Yeah, we'll start out as some late rollicking.
Wouldn't it?
It starts out, I could use a body carve here. Munch, munch, munch. I could use a bit more belly cut. Munch, munch, munch. Start reshaping the neck.
I was going to mention GTR.
Marcy, we don't want
19.
spoilers. You never do
No,
that for
no.
spoilers on here.
No spoilers.
Wondered if,
Or she might be just cheering on Brian Blaney. So I'm just saying, because I know Marcy's newer.
Cheers, Marcy.
Yeah, GTR 1952.
No, we wouldn't do that,
wondered
John,
if,
because we wouldn't have a channel if I did that. I don't think. First of all, you all would yak.
Wondered if Cordoba would sell Guild back to Fender, and I said more than likely not, especially since they just launched a new model of guitar. So
What, Guild?
yeah, I don't think
Guild-
Guild's going to
Guild-
go back to Fender anytime soon.
Guild is still under Fender.
No, Cordoba Group.
Are you sure? Well, that's good,
Yes.
because they were basically mothballed under Fender.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I said,
Yes, it was. Hey, my cousin was just texting me. We do a NASCAR podcast every week, Marcy. Tuesday. That's Canucks. Every Tuesday. We'll be talking about the races.
Take off, eh?
I watched the truck race last night. Funny enough, Symmetry, our buddy Marshall does the intro to the show, and he starts out by doing that, and then he's like, y'all get ready for Doug and Ben's NASCAR adventure. And then
That's awesome.
we start the show.
Right.
And he is not sober at all. Not even close when he's doing it. So I was like, Doug's like, how's this for a shout out to start the show? And I'm like, that's perfect, because that's about the condition I'm usually in while I'm down there. So. Hit Metalworks says trucks are the best racing of the three. Yep.
I'm a quarter mile guy. I love me some drag racing.
Yep, quarter mile.
I get into the NASCAR when applicable, but
I used to be in the
F1,
drag
I love
racing.
me some F1. John DeShane is a huge F1 fan.
Yes, he is.
And I mean, I kind of lost interest in 2005, 6, wherever they put that.
Oh, okay. Gary says Ren Ferguson quit Gibson to do Guild, now Cordova. Nice. Aussie V8 supercars are cool as well. I will admit that. That's what launched my love of like stock cars on road courses, basically. So every time NASCAR talked about doing more of that, I'm like, yes, please, yes, because those cars are not meant to be on road courses. So that's all the fun. It's all the fun. Guitar more M45 with hydroplane racing. Yep.
Yeah, those boats are awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Miss Budweiser. Yeah.
They,
Come up and that thing just launches. Kidding me?
Oh, man.
Hydrofoil. Give me a break.
I was watching the premiere of the SRX series last year, which is Legends type series. And Paul Tracy took Tony Stewart out on his boat, which does 150 miles an hour.
the Paul Tracy from IndyCar driving? 20
Yeah.
years ago?
Yeah, he runs in the SRX series. He's kind of known as the Dale Earnhardt of that series because he runs through everybody. At least he did last year. Yeah, I agree, Presley. It's restrictive. Haas is a massive F1 fan. Has been for years.
Yeah, I mean, that is really the pinnacle.
No, Marcy. If you look up NAS Canucks, all one word. That's us.
That's cool. I know you should push it more often. You should mention it more often.
I should, but I don't want to turn others off. Because I can't, I can't talk about something for just a minute.
Is it just you and Doug sitting around talking about what happened? Do you play, like, some clips?
No. I got in big trouble. I showed some clips on my phone once. That got us banned. But we verbally recap the show and go off on tangents. Go figure.
You have to.
Yeah, but basically, we'll cover all the NASCAR races this season. We've been covering the SRX series once it started last year, because we dig it. Sometimes we'll talk about races like of note in Canada or some sprint car stuff, because Doug's into that more than me. I used to be more into sprint cars, not so much now. You know what took away my love of sprint car racing? Watching them live.
Oh, wow.
Oh, caution.
What are you going to have on between noon and 3? I went to Indy every year that it was here in Vancouver.
Nice. I've always been an IndyCar fan as well.
With that said, I got on site free because I worked for the keg, and the keg was catering, so I went to the brew for an hour and then took off and did my own thing.
Right. I remember I think it was one of the last Toronto Indies was like 2017 when I was in Toronto. Holy crap! Yeah, what a weekend going on. So I'm in town to see Tom Petty play.
Excellent.
I ran into some buddies downtown. I'm like, oh, you're here to see Tom Petty too? They're like, no, Iron Maiden's playing over at the Dome. I'm like, okay, that's weird that you figure within walking distance. Tom Petty's playing at what was still the Air Canada Centre. Sky Dome has Iron Maiden and whoever's playing along with them. And the Indies in town as well that weekend. Because we're walking around downtown and I'm like, wee. I'm like, yeah. I love that sound.
Yonge Street must have just been a zoo. No
cars. It was awesome.
They must have closed it off. I mean, come on. People walking everywhere.
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. Almost as crazy as opening day of the X. I went to that one year. Ooh. Like, we didn't pay to ride down on TTC. They just opened the doors because they just knew. And we would just walk it. It was just crammed getting down there. And that was awesome because for years, Neil Young always played opening night at CNE. And so that night was Blues Traveler, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and Neil Young with Booker T and the MGs. So
Wow.
That's a delicious salad bar, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And Blues Traveler, never heard of them because they hadn't broke yet, really. And Pearl Jam was still basically doing just the first album. So that was sweet. And Soundgarden was doing the Bad Motorfinger tour, which was my favorite album.
Soundgarden.
Yeah, I love that album.
So good.
And Neil just was Neil. He just came out and played for 2+ hours with Booker T and the MGs backing him up.
Yeah.
They're like, whatever you want to play from the catalog, we're there, because they're pros.
People talk about
They're awesome.
Soundgarden as being
they are
grunge.
awesome.
I kind of take offense. I think Soundgarden was, at least they started off a lot more metal than grunge.
They did. Well, that thing, and I pretty much stopped becoming a fan after that because Super Unknown came out, and I'm sorry, Black Hole Sun came out. I went, what the fuck is this? The last single I heard was what the fuck? Chris cuts off his hair, and it's all this whiny ass shit.
Once you remove
I love that
band
album.
and you're no longer hungry, you don't have the fear for flight.
Yeah, and I get that, Michael. I get that. That's like it's like,
album. But
it's like
the radio, so I
yeah, and I get it. And they that album was huge, and they made a huge following out of it, and I get that, and that's fine. And Chris wanted to go in a different direction because Pete.
I like the prog.
I talked about it. So. And Chris was done. That was a chapter, and he was done, and he moved on. I'm like, well, I wish he filled the rest of us in, because but when they went off this way, and that's fine. And they had, it's like Metallica's Black Album. By the time I heard that, I went, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, I was out there.
Not Master of Puppets. And
although there is some good songs on it.
There was some good.
I tapped out when Load came out.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the final nail in their coffin, right? They're like, wait, there's more. Reloaded. That didn't help. That did not.
No, it didn't.
No, I
Even
do.
when they
Load.
reload.
Yeah, wasn't Load the first one where it like was it Until It Sleeps or whatever, and it comes out and it's so mellow to
couldn't tell
start
you.
with.
I was so
Cool.
out of
It's a
Metallica by
big
then.
song off
I
that
can't
album,
tell you.
right?
Yeah, because I just remember they premiered the video on Much Music, and me and my buddies were sitting there going, like, literally, like, what the hell is this crap? You know, like, just astonished. Really clean guitar, like, not clean with chorus. Yes, he was, Jeff Case. It was the full Booker T and the MG lineup. That's what Donald Duck Dunn on bass, Steve Carper on
man.
guitar.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
It was all of them. 1993. Made the
that's
mistake
amazing.
of getting a tattoo before the concert that day.
Stay out of the pit.
Oh yeah, we were up in the stands, and it was
You
funny
got a
because
tattoo in the stands?
no, it was like trying to clean the tattoo in the
Just
bathroom
kidding.
with
I just
E&E before the show.
I would argue to this day that to get the full concert experience, you have to be on the floor. And there's been a few shows where I bought seats in the stands and ended up on the floor.
See, I would have, but by 16, I already had a bad knee, so standing wasn't really an option for hours on end. And plus, it was opening day of C&E, so we had the shade of the grandstand,
Right?
which was nice. And it was fun because between each bands, we watched the game of people from the cheap seats trying to run across the whole, basically, infield of the J Stadium to get, because they only filled half the floor. And then you watch security, like, they figure out angles, and then they yank them down, and it was a good dozen of them between every fucking band.
I mean, that said, yeah, there's nothing wrong with just going to the show. Hey, you got your fanny
Well, yeah,
pack
and it was
with
myself.
joints and smokes, and you're ready to
We were,
sit there for a
yeah, we
couple
would have been
hours.
like 19 years old. It was myself, my roommate, his younger sister, and her friend came along. And I was like, really? You know, your younger sister's like, she was cool, but she was like 15, 16. And I'm like, come on, we're going to a concert all day. You know, it's like they're paying for the gas. I'm like, we're driving then. Let's go. And I parked the car in Pickering, took the GO train in. Boom. You know, you're right there. Downtown. Hit Metalworks asked earlier, anything going on at Mosport these days? Yes. Basically, just Canadian stuff. There's no international racing yet coming back. But until recently, NASCAR Truck Series was running at Mosport. That was the only NASCAR presence. IMSA cars definitely would run their bikes, yes. NASCAR's Canadian Series, the Pinty Series, runs there multiple times a year. Kind of their premier track. That was when we went up there for what's now the NASCAR Canada Series race. It was still the CASCAR Series at that time. They were the headline of a weekend of racing. We were handed some tickets courtesy of UAP, now Napa, because my buddy's boss raced a stock car sponsored by the local Napa, we'll call it. And so they gave us some passes. So he's like, hey, do you know how to get to Mosport? And I was like, yeah, it's like an hour, you know. Okay. But the thing is, I hadn't been to Mosport since my uncle raced there in 1982, 83. So I kind of knew where it was. So what do I know how to get in? I only know how to get into the pit entrance, Terry. It's the only place I know how to get in. So we pull up to the pit gate, and I'm like, just show him the pass. He shows them the pass. And I said, where do we park? And they looked at the pass and they're like, anywhere you want, sir, just stay off the track.
Jeez.
Oh. So we just pulled in our vehicle right next to the haulers for the teams. So we had first dibs on parking and getting out. Saved us like 2 hours leaving the facility. And then, yeah, we just walked through the pit paddock. And eventually I'm like, there's a bridge at some point. I got to find it, but I haven't been here since I was a kid. So, and we were talking with all these teams and stuff and ran into a couple people we knew and finally made over. And then I knew it was a nice spread because the catering had real silverware and plates. It wasn't paper and plastic. I'm like, oh, I guess these passes are good. And you realize, yeah, they're the presenting race sponsor of the event. You know, they're sponsoring one of the cars in the race. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
Sweet.
they got the premium beer, not the cheap beer.
Oh, and free, as much as you want. Yeah, I think it was Molson Canadian, unfortunately, but you know, what are you gonna do? It was free.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you would have been happy.
I'll take a Canadian over a blue any day.
See,
That's the
I
difference
was
between the East Coast and the West Coast right there in a nutshell.
Yeah, I was the out. Well, that was a weird thing though. I was the outlier for a long time. All of my friends drank X, and I could not handle
To
it.
be fair, my favorite of all time Canadian beers was Old Keith's Extra Old Stock. Great big taste. That was malt liquor.
Darren.
5.65. Back in the day, it was the highest. High test. Tried it.
I remember Moosehead.
Moosehead was.
I know somebody that likes Moosehead. Maybe Doug likes Moosehead. I don't know. Can't remember.
That's very possible.
Moosehead's beer. I mean, you're going to drink the beer. The beer's there.
Yeah, I think he likes Keith's because that's an East Coast beer.
Keith's is kind of...
That's expensive. I mean, it costs a couple bucks more for a 6.
I think it's the same price around here.
Yeah.
Or
Keith's
in worst
isn't-
case, it's like Corona prices, Which that's my summer beer. Just
I love. Yeah, I agree, 100%. Corona is the summer beer. Ice cold. It's just like drinking water.
yep. I don't need a lime or anything. Just ice cold.
You can't take the bottle.
That's the only way to make it palatable is ice cold.
Oh yeah. I used to buy the big Corona bottles. Those ones.
Right?
Yeah, those were great.
710
That was my bonfire beer. I'd show up with like fuck a 6-pack of those. I'm like, I'm good to go.
Mercy Moosehead, the beer-flavored beer.
Exactly. Ian's Guitar
like
Shack
that.
used to drink Moosehead years ago.
Yeah, I remember it. I can't really remember anything good about how it tastes, though.
So I would chalk that up to marketing 100% because Moosehead is by far not the finest Canadian beer.
Yeah.
And even though Ben and I disagree on certain things when it comes to Canadian beer,
Yeah, but that's like Ford and Chevy.
not bad.
Labatt's
Yeah.
blue and Molson Canadian. It's a Ford Chevy. They're both trucks, or whatever,
Yeah.
They're both industry standards. It's
Yeah.
Boss MXR.
And there's the Budweiser. And I'll tell you, I did some service calls on the coffee machines they used to have at the old Budweiser plant. And although Labatt's did all those different beers all over the place, they had a separate place for the Budweiser. It was the Budweiser.
And they've taken over all marketing in Canada, too.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were religious about what they did in that place.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you have no idea, Michael B. It's easier
Yep.
for me to find a Labatt's Blue in a bar in the U.S. than it is in Canada.
Oh, wow.
How sad is that? Because
I'm
the
not
way
sure.
the laws work is the brewery can only advertise one brand. Like you can advertise
Okay.
one regular beer, one light beer. So it's
Okay.
Bud and Bud Light for Labatt's because
Wow.
that's the big brand, right?
Yeah.
And they get the marketing dollars from the U.S., whereas Molson can still do Canadian. You never see an export commercial anymore.
That's
No.
I don't even think I can buy an export if I wanted to.
that's really interesting.
It's there.
Not
I
a
never
terrible
heard
beer
of
either, though. That's in the Moosehead category of a beer I'll drink, but not something I'll buy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a lot of
Yep,
people
that'll
drink
work.
it
I
here,
was a
but
blue drinker and the biggest reason I drank blue was because I could switch between blue and blue light, no problem. And I found no other beer with their light version. Their light version didn't taste like the same beer, whereas I found blue and blue light were interchangeable for the most part. I could tell the difference, but I didn't mind switching from one to the other.
I
Yeah.
like the
Just to
Sam
afford
Adams
it.
Summer Ale.
If I get
Just to
into a
throw
fork
in.
in the road where I got to decide between a light beer or no beer, I'll probably have a Long Island iced tea.
Long
Mhm.
Island iced tea is much better.
Made from scratch, not from the shit.
Much better.
Right. Yeah, not from a mix.
And when you ask a bartender that, it tends to make them want to flex a little, like, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to make this guy the best Long Island iced tea.
Yep.
That's
I
a
like
I
recipe.
don't mind a
That's
Caesar on
awesome.
occasion too. A Caesar during the day in the summer. Oh,
I'm thinking of going make one right now. I have stuff for Caesar all the time. Anytime you come to my house, you can have a Caesar.
So what's in the Caesar?
it's basically it's a Bloody Mary but with clam juice.
Tomato juice and
Oh, okay.
tomato juice. So it's a clam nectar with seasonings and spices mixed with the tomato juice.
Okay. Yeah.
And usually garnished with crazy shit. There's some places you can go spend $30 on a Caesar and it comes with a little burger, some chicken wings, and all kinds of shit.
Oh,
fuck
shit.
It's got crazy. It used to be it'd just be like a fucking stick of celery stuck in it, and
Yeah.
and
I
some
prefer
fucking
to take
spice
it with
around the
asparagus.
top.
The pickled asparagus
Wow.
is my go-to with a Caesar. Pickled
Yeah.
beans.
I just want an old school
I like
Caesar.
asparagus.
Yeah, I like garnishes. I just take them out and drink it anyways. I don't want to eat my drink.
You need something to stir it with.
A straw.
You can't get those anymore. If you do, they're made out of
Yeah,
paper
that's
and
true.
they suck.
You bring your own.
Oh, here's a good one. I
I
recently
got
got.
my fancy cleaner. I got.
Then again, I don't drink anymore, so it doesn't. It's the point.
I'll just drink it out of the glass. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Speaking of the paper movement, I recently got a loaf of Dempster's bread,
With the tag
Yes.
made out of
and
like
the
a
tag is
hardboard.
now made out of paper instead
Nice.
of
Like a
plastic.
hardboard though. It's really
Yeah.
quite resilient,
Yeah,
Nice.
I was impressed.
right? Me too. I was like, that's a fucking step forward.
Yeah.
I've got a bucket full of bread tags going back 20 years. I'll bet.
Yep.
Throw them in the bucket. Throw them in the bucket.
Huh.
But
Now they
yeah,
just
making
have
a
to
lot
do
of wood,
the
that's
bags of
great.
milk too. And Michael's like, what?
So now the question is, my friend, that's because we all love guitar. How are those new hardboard paper bread closers
As a guitar pick, yeah, I was thinking that actually.
Well, not to mention, yeah.
How
How
long?
long?
Be good for a little while, but it's going to wear out.
No,
Wait,
it would be
whoa, whoa,
wimpy
whoa.
as hell.
Wait, I just thought of something. How long are we going to be able to buy these in stores? Isn't this a single-use plastic?
No, I got
Hmm.
a bucket full of these.
No, you can pick your nose or you pick your guitar.
You can pick
I'm
your friends, but you can't pick your
It's
friends'
two,
noses.
that's two things right there. You could
Now,
think of a
fortunately,
third
I've still
gross
got.
one.
I think I've got a lifetime supply, and I got people that can send me pics if needed. But because Americans.
Did you see Laz has the little punch? And he
Yeah,
was
I got
trying
one
to
of those
use
too.
With the chip.
I have one too. It's
chip,
fun.
right?
It's totally fun.
But when you punch a piece of plastic like that, it's square on the edges.
Yep.
It doesn't
It's
have
a little
bevel
ragged, but yeah.
tip, right?
No, it's straight. I can
think
do.
I kind of need a bevel at the tip of my pick.
I
Yeah,
don't know I don't know where it is. I
the
have
bevel
one.
would be nice.
I'll have to try it.
Oh, and hell, hey,
Mark
John,
says plastic bread
Billy,
clips
$10
for
for the
strap lock.
$10 pick I stole from your house 2 weeks ago. These picks are crazy.
John DeShane says he only drinks with symmetry.
This ended up in my pocket after I left your house. I don't know. There was a lot of drinking.
And yes, for those tuning in that aren't familiar with symmetry, it's pronounced symmetry. Hello, China Mike. Forgot to say hello to China Mike 2.5 hours ago.
My tree,
Oh,
all kinds of things. Or
He
you can
wasn't
call
in the
it
chat,
Chuck.
but I know he's going to be watching on replay.
Yeah.
So.
you trying to make?
But speaking of which, holy crap, we've gone like almost 2.5 hours, so we might as well go to the bottom of the hour. Hey, Will. They make picks from Tortex now. It's not plastic. Sweet. Sustainable supply baby turtles.
How
I mean,
does
like,
Tortex
the
differ
purple-
from
the purple-
plastic?
The purple Tortex aren't plastic?
Wait,
Right?
nylon is nylon a plastic?
Yeah. It's not named plastic.
And if
but-
so, does that mean we get banned any nylon clothing? Because clothing's single use.
Yeah, go back and listen to some Dire Straits and start just playing with your fingers.
I don't know.
Fuck it.
This is getting too weird. I thought nylon was a plastic, Doug.
We don't have to worry about that.
Nylon
here.
is a type of microplastic.
Oh, that's the worst kind of plastic, I think.
Right? That's the ones that go
I'm pretty sure I've heard documentaries referring to microplastics. And Michael B, I don't know if you noticed, but there's not a lot of feel-good documentaries as opposed to holy crap, look at this documentaries. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like, there's
Yes,
the
I do.
feel-good, like, hey, there's the happy penguins, but then there's 100 Death of the Penguins docs.
Yeah.
So
That's correct.
Then
Yeah,
it gets worse.
I haven't
that
heard
right.
a lot of
Primary and
full
secondary
documentaries
microplastics.
being done.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, you have to say it.
That's
There we go.
funny.
All right, I need a sustainable pick. My inner hippie is saying I need a sustainable pick.
Glass.
Dunlop.
Or-
One
hey,
day.
You have to whittle your own.
You know what? How brittle is recycled plastics? Can they just make picks out of recycled plastics?
Yeah.
Because I'm down with that. I would love to use recycled plastic picks. I'll have to look into that. Let's see if we. Oh, we can make.
Shane wants to
We can
make
use
picks out of
microplastics
penguins.
to make micro machines, though, Joe Hervey. You're right. You do.
So what part of the penguin would we use to make the picks? Would it be bone? Would it be their claws? Do penguins have claws? They must have some kind of fingernails, right?
Beak?
Ooh, penguin beak picks.
Yeah.
That sounds evil geniusy.
There's a lot of
Clipping
serious
there with
work being
the
done.
beak of a penguin.
And just cut their beaks off and leave them to dry. It's like the shark fin soup.
The penguin flipper pick for sweet
Well,
picking.
is there a bone in there? It's cartilage, right? I mean, cartilage isn't going to make a good pick.
Yeah.
I think we're going on a tangent.
Right. Yeah, exactly, Will Mary. You know, I've always wanted that. Remember in the 90s when we switched to plastic bags because they were cutting down the rainforest for paper bags?
Yeah. It's
You
true.
know how many paper bags you'll make out of an acre of hemp?
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you can make better stuff with that.
You make all kinds of stuff with that.
Those bags would last forever, too. Kidding me? There's no way we should be wiping our asses with paper. We should be wiping our asses with hemp. There's
No,
tons
should
of
be
that
wiping our
shit around.
butts
It's legal everywhere. Are you
with
kidding me?
3 clamshells, remember?
Yeah, especially by now. Aren't we supposed to be doing that
Especially
by
by
now?
now.
If movies
I
have taught me right, and I know they
I think
have,
the rest. Yeah.
shouldn't I
I
also
think the
own a
rest of it
flying
is
car by
okay.
now?
And Taco Bell should be a luxury restaurant as well, too.
Well, it is with the
Fine.
price of food.
I'm gonna go to the-
Fine dining.
They just opened a Chipotle down the street.
Shane.
I would go
Wipe
to
our
Chipotle
butts
before
with
I went to Taco
penguins.
Bell. But now, talking about a Canadian classic, Taco Time, I love me two beef.
Terry,
and bean
John
burritos
Duchesne
on
is cutting
taco.
down on waste. We figured out we're going to use the beaks for picks, and we can then apparently wipe with the rest of the penguin.
Oh, it's like my favorite joke. Right? The bear walks into the rabbit in the woods.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's a good one.
You see that as memes a lot.
Poor rabbits.
Yeah.
That in
Do you
itself
mind
makes
poop?
me not
No?
want to be
Okay.
reincarnated.
No, does it stick to your fur?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See you, Scott. Apparently, Scott left a couple minutes ago. Gretsch Zeppelin says picks made from genuine Saskatchewan sealskin.
Those fuckers are hard to corner, though. I mean, they're pretty evasive. It's
Agile.
like checking a Sasquatch. Oh, Sasquatch toothpick.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess.
rare and elusive. Rare and elusive.
Yeah.
Sasquatch toenail.
That's
I got
been
him- I got him a
yeah.
couple. Oh, the toenail would be fucking.
yes, Sasquatch toenail. Oh my god, there's the name for the band.
Shape it a little.
That's the name for your band, Sasquatch Toenail.
Hey, they already got
You're like,
Sasquatch.
I don't know what
so-
kind of music they play, but I'm showing up.
I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, there we are. Wow. Yeah. It's been that kind of a night. I figured as much for the community thing.
Here we are.
Yeah, welcome back, Michael B.
Anytime it goes past the 2-hour mark, that's when everything changes.
It does. It does. Chad Boston. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, Chad. Nice to see you. over
Appreciate it. I gotta pick up some gas for the mower, actually, because it rained today. I gotta mow the lawn. Dang it.
there.
I
2/3
gotta
gallon
fix
of
my
gas. Well, wouldn't that be like 4 liters of gas then?
No.
$4.99. That would be 2 liters of gas, given the prices.
Maybe 3.
Well,
Yeah.
3.
1/4 of a gallon is a liter of gas. So 3/4 minus a bit. 3,200 cc's of fuel. So,
That's funny. Luckily enough, it hasn't gotten that wacky yet.
Presley says, dudes, I'm loving my 95 Geo Metro, 47 miles a gallon. You're clearly in California and not Canada. None of those are still alive to this day.
I was just
Canadian
gonna
Winter
say,
Speedo was alive by the mid-2000s.
Yeah,
if
no,
one of
there-
those
there's none-
is still
none here.
around, that's awesome.
Oh, I was talking to Steve from Boston's chat last night because I was like, holy crap on a cracker. Last week I'm driving around. I saw a dude driving a Chevette. I was like, holy crap. And it was,
Yeah.
but it was all in good shape. Like, it had to be because
Yeah.
all the shit boxes are long gone. But it had like it was all the same color. It had its hubcaps on it. Like, and I thought it had to be like some little lady's car, you know, for decades or whatever.
Mm.
This little Chevette. And I was just like, holy crap, you just don't see those in, you know, it'd be like the same as your environment, Michael, be, you know, the way
Yeah.
your winters are. Like, those things rotted away decades ago.
They're gone. They're gone.
Yeah. It's like K cars. You see a K car in the wild, you're like, what? How did that
much-
survive?
We have.
Take care,
Okay.
Janice.
See you,
The other
Janice.
day, I installed a coffee machine in West Vancouver, which is, you're not going to find a house for less than $5 million West Vancouver.
Yeah.
And the Chevron station that I was at, and Chevron's well known for their quality fuel, was a full service station. However, while they were under the renovations with coffee installation install that I was doing, a lot of the people showed up, and at least 4 old ladies in the 3 hours that I was there came up and couldn't pump their own fuel.
Ooh.
Had no idea how to unscrew a gas cap, put the nozzle in, and squeeze the
Yeah.
trigger. Just because it just never had to, and they were like upset. I went and popped one. There was a couple other tradesmen that were around. And they were like, everybody was helping them out. You know, come on.
That's crazy because around here,
Tank, ma'am.
yeah,
But
like around here, you can't find full service unless you go to the Indian reservation. That's the only place that has full service.
Yeah, I can always think of one.
There's some places here
See you,
where they
Dale.
made it off.
Have a good one, man.
Because of all those fill-in sprint kind of guys that were trying to. Yeah, the people were dragged. There was a guy in Maple Ridge dragged to his death over a few miles. It was brutal. So after that, it's like pay at the pump or you pay inside ahead of time. There's no looking around.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I always forget when I travel to the U.S., you got to pay in advance. Like, yeah, you like paying inside in advance. I was like, what?
No honor system anymore.
Yeah, there's no honor system. As soon as you cross the border, there is no honor system in the U.S.,
Yeah.
at least wherever I've traveled.
No. People would abuse it otherwise.
Not in Canada, generally speaking.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a few
It's
gas.
the way of
bingo
our people.
gas
We're
stations, but
nice
it's
to
rare.
each other. We try and help
Yeah.
each other out.
No, that's
what we
great,
do.
but yeah, not here.
Co-op stations, there's definitely not too many other than maybe in a few.
I don't know of any
rural
myself,
farm
but
places.
Ontario is a big place, so I can't speak for all of Ontario.
They're big in the prairies. The co-ops with the farmers is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know there's co-op stores, but none that have pumps per se. You know, it's just basically feed stores.
There's a few tricklers in British Columbia, but most of it's Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. They're
God.
everywhere out
As
there.
far as I know, southwestern area of Ontario where there's more kind of, like you said, farmlandish places. There is, I believe.
Mercy says tips: always get fuel gas at truck stops in the U.S. Yeah, generally, yeah. You know, you don't get gouged along the highway as much. I noticed that. Like the first few road trips, we tried taking a sidetrack off the interstate by a few miles and hit the gas stations on the edge of town. Weren't any cheaper. Whereas Terry, if you're near a highway, the gas is more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it's not a lot. It's an extra cent or two, but it still makes a difference. Myself, I always just fill up on the res whenever I'm out on the res. So, because it's 10% cheaper, something 11% cheaper, about.
Same thing as going from a town to like a city, a major city.
Cities always charge
Sometimes
more.
Yeah. Or it varies sometimes, because I know there's been times like back in the day when I did notice gas prices going to like somewhere in the GTA, gas was actually cheaper than up north.
Whitby, for some reason, always has
Yeah.
cheap gas. For the amount of,
Yeah.
where it's just city after city, it's like greater LA area. It's just municipality, one right after another. So it's
Yeah.
like, you're starting and you're hitting Bowmanville, Oshawa, Ajax. Oh, Whitby's got cheaper gas. Then Pickering, Scarborough, Toronto. You know, it's like for whatever reason. And there's a bunch of fast food places there too. So I think that's why they know. So, yeah. Well, I hear some movement around upstairs, so we should probably wrap things up because, you know, I think someone's hunting around to see if I'm still on air or not. So,
Cool.
This has definitely been a fun show, as always, on these community hangs. We will be doing another one sooner, if not later. I don't know when. I kind of do them when I feel like them, because that's the best way to do them. Typical, this one came out of one of the Zoom calls. Symmetry and I were shooting the breeze. I'm like, hey, community hang? You're like, yes.
Always
Good.
down to hang out, brother.
Yeah.
Always fun.
John DeShane.
Community, I love
You got to
every
talk.
one of you
I
guys
want to
out there.
get John on a show. John, you're
Absolutely.
a character. And I like hanging with characters. Cool hit, Metaworks.
Shane is a fabulous person. And you
Thanks, Gretsch.
should be lucky enough to drink tequila with him one time.
Yeah, I'd like to hang out with John. He seems like, you know, like I say, he's a character, and I get it. Like, when we were talking on the Zoom call, not to give away your whole life, John, but, you know, he's played a few gigs and stuff, and I can tell. Because you can tell this is someone that's had to, somebody broke a string, or, like, there's been a time, like, he has no problem if he has a microphone to entertain the crowd between songs or something like that. Like, I can tell he's got a personality for it. Or at least for me. I don't know, maybe the rest of the crowd would be bored deaf, but I'd be like, I like you. You know, like, I like him. So, love to have you on sometime. And so, what do we got coming up this week? Canucks Guitars. I'm going to play some guitar tomorrow. We'll hear pedals that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Secret pedal.
Well, pedal. The other one I can talk about. The LPD 55. I dig it. There, I talked about it. Then Nas Canuck back on Tuesday because I think Doug's back in town. He's back from his fishing trip. Perfect. What we got? Soda pop tasting of some kind. I'll have to figure that out. I don't know what it'll be yet. There's a few I can choose from. I don't think I like most of them. So that you seem to enjoy those videos as much as if I like it. Hey, Edwin, I'm just wrapping things up. Always somebody. Always somebody. It's great to see Edwin, though. Yeah. And then Friday, what are we doing Friday? Oh, I'll have a demo this week. What? A demo? I should do something involving those Master 8 strings doing hey, these are how they are, since in the previous video I said, hey, tune in for the next part where I say, hey, here's how they are. So I got to figure that out.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Yes.
Ta-da.
So, and if, hey, Sawa. Yeah, and if the audio turns out, I might expect some more demos in the future again, maybe. Excuse me. So, we'll see.
Cool, because you do the shit and then we don't have to.
Well, yeah. I'm supposed to be doing the shit. So, but yeah, I wouldn't mind. I probably got a bunch of stuff around here. Apparently, I have a lot of pedals. Fuck.
Yeah.
I think we should have a family photograph. You got to get them all out there.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Plug them all together.
That would be expensive. That's a lot of patch cords to buy.
Do some kind of crazy tap dance Russian thing.
One note pedal demo.
I don't know. Did you happen to see the photo was on Instagram the other day of RJ playing some giant wah pedal that he was riding like a surfboard?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I was like, geez Louise. I was like, that's the ultimate pedal for surf rock. Independent. So, yeah, on that note, thanks, Terry, Michael B., Symmetry.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. And, yeah, we'll do another one of these coming up. And I got a book. Oh, yeah, I'm waiting. See, the problem is I'm waiting for everybody to get off tour, find out when the hell he's going to be here, so then I can book around, book around the star, So I don't know who's coming up. I think I may have some notes on people. I don't remember. Really should reach out to Johnny Highland. That'd be a good one. That'd be fun.
Yes.
I keep teasing that, and I keep forgetting that. I should reach out to Johnny. That'd be fun. So, Thanks everybody that tuned in tonight. We still got 39 people watching. Nice.
Thanks, Terry 3Ds. Thanks, Michael B, for hanging out.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, Symmetry.
I love hanging
Always
out with
See
awesome.
Michael B in Symmetry and
Such
Thank
a
you, Terry.
great
Be back
extension of
on.
life. I mean, this is the best part of the internet right here. Is that we can talk to people scattered all over the place.
That's true. It is.
Like-minded, cool guys hanging out.
see
Talking
people's
shit.
living rooms.
See people's living rooms.
I'm
I
not
don't know,
saying
Gary.
you
That
have
looks
to
kind of virtual. That looks a lot like Tom's living room.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is this real? I was accused before that. If this was I wasn't accused. I was questioned if I was green screening or not.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
Pay attention can see that you move to and fro. It's same
Yeah.
with the Rick Beato thing with these people. It's like, oh, he's on a green screen. It's like, no, I've seen him walk into every corner of that glorious room with
Yeah.
all those fabulous cabinets,
Yeah.
all those fucking guitars just laid out. I mean,
No, now Terry's in the green screen.
No, Terry's just another brick in the wall.
that's something all in all, you're good.
It's brick on brick.
Yeah, so thanks everybody that tuned in tonight again. If you're at this point watching for the first time, you might as well hit that subscribe button. Links to cool stuff down below. Definitely. Some are affiliate links, others mostly are not. But that's okay. Check out buddy at Rob at Tesi Switch. He's carrying new stuff all the time. He was good enough to send me a bunch of stuff, so that's why we got the sponsored videos and stuff. Because the way I see it,
Cool.
if he's going to send me like those set of strings, well, let's do a couple videos on it.
Yeah.
Let's do something with it. Rob's a good guy. Use coupon code Canucks. See 15% on everything, not just kill switches. So, especially to my American friends, because shipping across the border can be a little bit more. But like for someone like Michael B, who I wanted this Keeley or this Earthquaker pedal, and I'm going to buy it online anyways. All right, well, why don't you use the coupon code and save 15% off MSRP, because otherwise you got to wait for a sale. That's what I'm paying.
Yep.
Right? And especially if it's if it's a couple $100 pedal, you're saving what, $30.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's going to cover your shipping alone. And these days it's hard to get the free shipping.
Make or break.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you think, well, then I might as well order that set of Strat knobs, because I'm going to save 15% on the whole add to cart. So it's
That's
a blanket discount, which is great. I don't get any kickback. Well, I guess the kickback is like Rob will send me some strings and stuff, but then I feel obligated to make the video, and it's one of these, is what I'm saying. It just keeps going.
Embrace it. Just roll with it, brother.
Yeah. And I'm happy that that Canucks is the number one coupon code used on Tesi Switch's website and has been for years.
That's awesome. I used it.
Yeah, it's because of all you find folks.
Use for a kill switch for myself, but when I do, I'm going to call Tesi Switch.
Exactly.
Yep.
And if I ever have a board I want to put titanium parts into, I'm going to call Adam at Effutone.
Exactly. And again, yeah, Adam just helps a friend out.
The thing about those guys is that they're active in the community and they support the channels that we watch.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Michael B, you've been around since day one, right? Basically.
Yes. And before
Terry
that.
too. Yeah, even before that, right?
I knew Terry a couple years before he met you.
Yeah. And like Rob and Adam at those two companies, they were digging what I was doing from day one, basically. Like I think I had us 100 subs, when they had discovered me, and they're just like, yeah, here,
Yep.
like if you need anything, we'll hook you up. And so I give them shout outs, and as a result I get artist pricing. Basically. Actually, yeah, I think I am a Tesi Switch artist. Right, I'm on the website. Hey, there you go.
There you go.
And that's all because of you guys, basically. Me meeting Rob and stuff, and through the community, and he could have not, give me a coupon code like anyone else, and then it is what it is, and then give me a little bit. But he's like, no, seriously, it's cool. Like, here, check this out, okay? To the point where, I don't know, I did get a really good deal on that Hydra, is what I'm saying. I got a really good deal. So, yeah. So on that note, folks, I'm rambling. That's, I think, Harvey's favorite part of the show. Chat, I think, so there's 30 people left, and they're just waiting for people to exit. They're getting their coats a coat check, and they're waiting. That's the problem. So we got 30 people left.
Tell them another drink, they'll stick around for half an hour.
They're like, can we get another drink while we're waiting in line? We're going to be 12 and a half minutes at least. And they're like, they're already putting the stools up on the bar, and they're like, no. So Leo's bought mini kill switches from Tesi. Well, definitely use coupon code Canucks. Save yourself a few bucks if you haven't already. I don't know who uses it and who doesn't. You know, Edwin says, "I love Terry. Damn it." Well, who doesn't? Right? All the cool kids do.
Just over 1 minute left in the game. Colorado is winning 2-1 over Tampa Bay.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Sorry.
No spoilers. Terry's like, and the update is tomorrow. Is this thing on? I don't know. Anyways, so thanks again, everybody. That apparently Hobo Roadie right at the end. Dale Palmer's just waiting to hit.
Yeah, where's Dale? Dale's hiding somewhere.
Enter on his comments, right? So, yeah. Anyways, folks, thanks for everybody that tuned in tonight. As always, hold those doors open. Let Doug's wife in ahead of you in traffic because she's real.
Karma.
Goodbye.
Yes, and you get to each other and be well. Where's that? Right, that thing. That's right. And don't litter.